one up on I've Got Sunshine on a Cloudy Day. I'm Otis Williams. I got this singing group. Your voice knocks me out.
Who are they? They sound good.
Motown Records. Mary Gordy, right?
You guys are really good out there tonight. Do you guys have a manager?
No. Yes.
Here's my card.
Mr. Gordy's expecting my group for an audition.
You come up with a name for yourselves yet?
The Temptations.
Welcome to Motown.
Oh, they loving it.
They're going to be performing The Temptations!
Yo, fellas, we successful now. Enjoy the fruits.
The biggest group in the world.
Temptations forever.
But for everything they had, there was something else slipping away.
Corny, it ain't about the money. Our music, that's who we are.
I don't know if Paul's ever gonna perform again. Either you gonna straighten up or we letting you go.
You're making a big mistake, Otis.
Making it to the top is never as easy as it looks.
I'm the one selling the records. They coming to see me.
Ain't no one man bigger than this group.
You ain't no temptation no more.
Without David Ruffin, y'all ain't nothing.
And no one made it look as good as the Temptations. Featuring the original Motown songs and music by Smokey Robinson, starring Leon, Oba Babatunde, Charles Malik Whitfield, and D.B. Woodside. The music, the lives, and the legacy. The Temptations. The Temptations, now available on video.
Yes, indeed. Welcome everybody to another review, Black Music Month review of, and tonight we're going to be discussing another all-time classic biopic, 1998 miniseries, The Temptations, starring Leon as David Ruffin, Charles Malik Whitfield as Otis Williams, D.B. Woodside as Melvin Franklin, Teron Brooks as Eddie Kendricks, and Christian Payton as Paul Williams. Yes, the original version of The Temptations. I gotta say with this movie, man, just like how with the Jackson Story, we always talk about how one of those movies that BET or VH1, more specifically VH1, played to death. And it was the Jackson Story, and it was this. You couldn't go a week without without seeing one of these movies on the rotation. And just like the Jackson Story, watching the Temptation film will be an all-day project for sure. But this movie definitely is a classic for sure. All-time classic biopic series. I mean, legendary performances by Leon as David Ruffin. I mean, come on, like everybody this day still, ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Like that line is legendary. It's a legendary line, legendary performance by Leon. And really quickly, like I said, Leon is a certified hood legend. Like the man's got classics under his belt, bro. And almost every black film in the 90s, he was in. You got this, 5 Heartbeats, Above the Rim, Cool Runnings, Little Richard Story. Like Leon was that dude, bro. Like he was that dude. And this is a lot of people is the role that people equate Leon to as David Ruffin of the Temptations. But yeah, the movie's about, the legendary group, the Temptations from Detroit, Detroit's own Temptations. Shout out to MG. One of the original, R&B groups of that time. And basically their story about their rags to riches story, about them coming together, trying to get through, come through the ranks in the Motown ranks. Of course, a lot of drama, crazy drama, and a lot of tragedy, and a lot of heartbreak that's happened during this group's run. But credit to the Temptations, man, and credit to the staying power. They're still going strong this very day. I believe last time I checked, they're still going on tour this very day. Now, unfortunately, not the original members. The only original member that's still alive is Otis Williams. But the Temptation name is still going strong to this very day. Shout out to Otis Williams, who's in his 70s, still stepping, with the Temptations to this very day. So salute to him for sure. But Quez, what are your thoughts on the Temptation movie, and how is it to you growing up, and the movie overall?
First, I want to start off by saying the irony of that line. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Otis, the last one left. And that's what people are seeing.
That's not funny. That's not funny. That is not funny. That's not funny, James.
I'm just saying that the irony of it all. And James, you do know that that line was improv.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I knew that. Apparently, yeah. Leon did say that he was so into the character, so into the scene, he blurted that line out. And according to Leon, Charles, who played Otis, didn't like that. Didn't like that at all. So you can see it in his face, like he was bothered by that line.
And that just goes to show you, Leon did his job. He embodied that character and really evoked that raw emotion out of the character and the actor himself to make it feel like he ain't Jack. Like, anybody coming to see you, Otis? I'm the one selling the records. But I'll go more in depth in that when we cover on that scene. But I just found that line to be ironic in this day and age. But overall, like, Temptations is a standout for me as far as, like, when you look at biopics, I set this movie as one of the standards with it on like how it's done, from the casting to everybody being able to sing the songs that the Temptations sung and do it well, to the choreography, to the acting and the embodiment of each and one of the characters, the setting the stage and scenery around Detroit is just like all top notch and done very, very well. I first seen it when I was in the first time I actually seen this film was in school, honestly. I was in 7th grade. We watched this during my choir class. We took the whole week out to watch this whole movie during class. And then, like I said, it was my first time seeing it. So it just enlightened me. Like, I've heard of Temptations as a group, and I heard a couple songs as a kid, but just watching the start of it and listening to their stories, it made it so much more compelling into their art, into their music, and got to look inside to who they were as a group, as who they were as people. For the rise, to the struggles, to the success, to everybody being happy, to the fall. And it's just like like seeing all of that, the film was just so captivating. So it really done as well of a job as they showed it to be. So credit to everybody that was involved in the process with it. And it definitely has staying power and longevity, as it's lasted for generations on end, from when it came out in the late 90s to 2023. Definitely staying power and relevant. Like I said, as far as like the standard to how biopics should be done. And even you see it in its recency when you look at stories that James would tell you about, like, as much as he preaches about the New Edition story, that's an example of having some of the cast being around, like some of the cast, group members being around to share and put their story and their lives into the music, to the casting and the direction and all of that, and made a near flawless project. That's just one of the examples. Like how the Temptations were able to do it, New Edition story was able to do it too.
question. What makes this better than the Jackson story?
That's a good question.
Because you said Temptation is the standard, and the two biopics that's always pit against each other is a Jack story and Temptations.
Well, you got to remember, because like I said, when I watched the Jackson story to prep for our review that we did a couple weeks ago, this is my first time seeing the Jackson story. So that was me digesting that as a project as a whole. And it was a great project, and how they directed it as well. So I could put that up there because a lot of people have held the Jackson story, giving it a lot of weight. So I'm not going to take that away from it. So I will hold those two up there. Like, when you think of dope biopics that are like standing the test of time, you would say stuff like the Jackson story, Temptations. Even though this was a fake band, but still to test of time, like a real band, 5 Heartbeats. You have that. Like, those were still standards of like a baby.
Bro, when I was younger, I thought the 5 Heartbeats was a real group.
Didn't we all?
Yeah, you're right. I so thought that they were a real group.
Like, I had one of my aunties thinking back. It's like, I don't remember this group, and she had to call one of our older relatives. Like, you ever heard of the 5 Heartbeats? And she was like, no, I think. Like, she remembered one of the singers, but she didn't remember like the band. Like, you would think it was a real, like, it had a lot of people questioning that because of the story that was so good shit. And then you think it's even more real because Leon played in that movie and he played in this movie, so it had to be a real movie with a real group because Leon did it. And it's like, but it's not real. Like, dang.
Hey, if you want to know if a movie, if a group is legit, just put Leon in it. Bro, I almost
made it above the rim joke. Never mind.
He owes me, but like,
are we even?
Yo, here's how. Are we even on this? We all gotta give Leon this, bro. The fact that we allowed him, because we appreciate Leon for what he did. The fact that we allowed him to get away with just his first name after all these years, bro. just Leon, like we've allowed Leon to just go off just his first name. Because how legit he is as an actor.
How dare you get my first name?
Exactly. It's just like who the fuck are you? We realized that's David Ruffin. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's true.
That's all it took.
But also got to think about this movie. As great as it was, does not have its own fair share of controversies. This movie is kind of notoriously known for being, because we were talking about this before we went off the air. As great as this movie is, there were some things that they took out of context or they didn't touch on,
or exaggerated,
exaggerated. You know, exactly like people like one thing, for example, the fight backstage at the New Year's. Do you know about this, Quez?
At the New Year's, you talking about the one that Al got in?
Yeah.
It wasn't even who did he fight?
Paul, yeah.
It wasn't even Paul for real, wasn't it?
Actually, it was Paul that they did fight. But what had happened was, because you know how the whole thing when, you know, Paul was like, yo, let's go out there. And Al was like, no, man, I'm tired. They said in reality, it was Paul that was the one that was being like, no, I ain't going out. I ain't going out there and all that stuff. And it was Paul that busted the bottle on Al's face. It was Paul, but they did fire Al because Al would not want to do a performance at some sort of event by Motown whatsoever. But in reality, it was really Paul that started that fight.
But Paul was allowed to stay just because he taught them how to dance and get away from that snapping shit.
Well, I mean, Paul. I mean, let's be clear. I mean, Paul. I mean, Paul was the swaggiest member of the group. So, like, yeah, we're not gonna get rid of Paul.
So
I'm gonna be biased.
Trey Wiggs is more expendable.
I'm gonna be biased. Yes, he is more expendable. I'm gonna be biased. So Paul is my favorite member of the group, and yeah, like Paul. Paul was the one that brought the swagger to the group. He brought the choreography to the group. Yeah. I'm not firing Paul Williams for nothing.
So you know what that caused, right? That caused like a ripple effect. Because Paul smacked him over the head with a bottle and got him fired up in Temptations. He had to get his ones back in the game and beat up and almost choke out Derwin Davis and take his girl. All because of that.
What does that got to do with Paul?
I was saying, if that never happened, Derwin would have never got beat up and Melody would never slept with him.
Yeah, this is true. He would still
be with the Temptations. For those of you guys that watch the game and you get the reference.
Yeah, had the nigga in a full Nelson, had him in the master lock. Damn.
Master lock. God damn. And then big man was like, you need help? I was like, I got this. Yeah, that dude with a golden, like the actor in real life was a Golden Glove. Poochar was a Golden Glove boxer, and he got hemmed up in a full Nelson. God damn! Because he got fired from the Temptations after he got hit with the bottle, but that's a whole nother thing. Funny how things work out.
Fired. That's fucked up, man. Like, he hit me, but I'm fired. Okay. They ain't shit for that, bro. But yeah, you have that situation. And then they say that well, so I actually wrote down some notes here. The trademark, like they said, the trademark, 4 mics thing that they saw when they did the Cloud 9 performance. They make it seem like that didn't come into play until Dennis Edwards got into the group, when really no, that group that's been with the group like earlier before. In fact, David Ruffin was the one that suggested the idea of having a 4 mic stand. So you had that. Then one of the most craziest moments in the movie. Oh my God, I can't imagine. So apparently, the scene when David Ruffin jumped on stage, right?
When he took Dennis' spot?
Yeah. Okay. All right. First off, we'll get into it, but listen, bro. If that had been us, right? Me, you, MG, you, Mark, Arlo. If that was all us, and then motherfucking, let's say MG, because MG probably do some crazy shit like that. I'm either walking out. I'm either gonna walk out. No. Are we fighting? Bro, we definitely would have. Bro, credit to them, bro. Bro, credit to them. That scene when they were performing and David showed up, bro. Jeff, you know how much it would take out of me not to want to hit that motherfucker right there, bro.
Dude, he did the 2010 Batista where he got his spotlight.
Yes, he did, bro.
He was on Spotlight coming for the day. And then he took center stage and then he moved not Paul. Why am I forgetting his name? I'm calling him not Paul. That's fucked up. What's his name?
Dennis?
Not Dennis. He already deboed Dennis. But what's his name? That was with Paul. I keep forgetting his name.
Oh, Eddie.
Yeah. He slid past Eddie. And then got to the front torso. And then they switched the spotlight to be on him at the front. I'm David Ruffin. And these are the Temptations. What the fuck you is? I would have smacked him with the mic stand.
Okay. All right. So Quez, so you just established, yeah, you would have fought on stage. Me, I would have been professional enough to keep the performance going, but I'd be like, man, I'm kicking your ass once we get off the stage.
I would have lost patience because it was like, it's bad enough you booted Dennis out the way and then we had to finish. You did it mid-song. We can't stop mid-song. Like, we finished that. And then you pull this bullshit. Like, nah, bro. No.
But apparently they said that
he was allowed
according to Dennis Edwards. No, according to Dennis Edwards, rest in peace, Dennis Edwards, he did say that David Ruffin did get on stage. Yeah.
Rest in peace. Damn.
He passed away in 2018. But he claims that David was there at the performance, but he claims, it's from Dennis's words, that he actually gave the mic to David and then told David, hey, go ahead and do your thing, man.
Man, of course he would say that. He's there only because he's taking David's spot. And then David's on stage. He snuck his way back on stage. There's no way people already want to hear you anyway because you're the replacement. And then David's right there. You just bowed out. You just passed the microphone. Nah, bro. Either he snatched it from you or you just gave up. Like, nah, bro.
First of all, I'm not going to disrespect Dennis. Dennis was a hell of a vocalist, his damn self. Okay,
I'm not disrespecting him either, but I'm saying though, like he was in the like what the union say. He was a scab. He was a replacement. Damn. You're talking about replacing, like you said, the lead singer. You went from a lead singer to somebody that's a substitute. That's the substitute teacher of your group. Even Dennis had to know, in all due respect, he knew what his role. He knew what his role was. And when David got on stage, there's no way he was gonna stay on that stage and sing with the rest of the group. It would have not made sense. He had to have bowed out. Forget giving him permission and giving him the microphone, bro. No, you had to step aside respectfully.
Let's fuck all that. Where was security?
I can tell you where they was at. They were not being sent out because you heard that crowd. That was the loudest the crowd got that whole performance when David came out. So the manager said, no. Let this play out. Hold on.
Let this play out. It was almost so, but the nigga Otis chased David, bro. David ran off the stage.
And this is and speaking of Otis, I'm glad you brought this up because as much as wild as David was, as much as Otis liked to keep things in control and credit to him from trying to be a leader, the one thing that really annoyed him, he could not control David. He could not get David to follow his lead. And he had a problem talking about David Ruffin and the Temptations. Nigga, you named the group after you twice with two whack names. And and you named it
Otis
after
Williams in the distance.
No. You had a problem saying David Ruffin and the Temptations. I'm not gonna say he saved the group, but he gave them a spark, a much needed spark. And no, don't call David Ruffin and the Temptations, but David was the one that was an unsung leader of the group, because how many other bandmates actually listened to his lead? On top of that, he had the fans in the palm of his hand, and knowing that he had that draw. Otis knew that, and Otis knew he could do as much as he can, but the group would not agree wholeheartedly because of the power that David had. David cannot be bullied by Otis, and Otis knew that, and that's why he was always so mad and jealous. And I will say this: jealous about David's presence. He was jealous because Otis was a star. Otis was the big man, the star leader. Then David came in, snatched that from him. You know he did.
See, this is where I disagree. See, I don't think Otis had no problem with David. Like he had no problem with David coming in. Bro, when David said, I really want to sing with y'all, he welcomed David up, no problem. Hell, when they sang Leave for My Girl, no problem. It wasn't until David started getting big-headed when Otis started getting annoyed.
Like leading up to that, I agree. And yes, David was humble at that mark. And Otis played off like a good team member, and it was all good. And yes, David did get big-headed. But you can't tell me that Otis wasn't acting off of his ego rather than being a quality teammate. You cannot tell me that Otis wasn't acting off his ego.
Well, I mean, but Quez, if you're Temptations and you're the biggest black group in music right now, and you got the lead singer constantly missing rehearsals, high all the time. But it's gotta get to a point where you got to go to Otis a bit. When you're Otis and you're the leader of the group, you gotta be like, yo, like, either cut this shit out or we letting you go. And I'm fucking serious. Let's look at it like this. Okay. Let's say, for example, all right. Again, I like to put us in these situations because that way it's more relatable. Okay. All of us are on the panel here. We're all a group, right? The biggest R&B group in the world, right? And let's say, for example, I go use MG. Let's say, for example, Arlo is the lead singer.
The fact that we're an R&B group is hilarious. Like, we can actually sing. But go off.
But I'm just saying, I'm just saying, bro. And let's say, for example, Arlo's the lead singer. That'd be fucking hilarious. And then Arlo is cool at first, nice and professional. And then once the money starts coming in, once we start getting big, Arlo starts getting big-headed. He started missing rehearsals. He started becoming late to performances. And it's becoming a constant thing. And let's not forget about the other shit David was doing, abusing women, had side women and all that stuff. Gonna get to a point where, like, yo, straighten the fuck up. Like you're gonna make us fumble the bag here. And let's say Quez, you just said Quez, you'll be the most out of patience out of everybody. You would get to the point where you would go up to Arlo and say, yo, Arlo, you need to straighten the fuck up, bro. Like, is that ego, or is that you looking out for the group?
That's looking out for the group. I'm saying in the context of Otis needing to he's the leader. He needs to help reign and control. But you have literally half your group saying the other thing. Like, work it out too. Talk it out. Help him get into rehab. Everybody wasn't all focused and outright kicking David out. But Otis
okay, now you put it like that. Okay, you put it like that. Okay, now I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
And then I will redirect back to what we mentioned too off air. where it was like kind of split because Otis wanted David gone. Paul wanted David gone. Blue was undecided, and Eddie said he wanted David to stay because he was part of the group. And then, I'm not saying bullied, but Blue, he was trying to speak for Blue's like, yeah, tell him, Blue, tell him you want David out. Tell him you want him out. And Eddie was like, come on, man. That's our brother. We got to try for him. And then Blue's like, I just don't know. Tell him, Blue. You say you want him out, right? You want him out. Again, that part is not being a good team player. We telling other people how to vote. That's, again, part of ego with him being the leader. Instead of just being rational and then letting it play it out and then try to think of other options. If this is your brother, like how you say, you want him kicked out. Excuse me, everybody else out had a hiccup where he fought. He got kicked out. David, he missed some rehearsals and then he was doing these shenanigans. The only difference was when he was on stage, whenever he did show up, he did his job and he performed. There, as far as I know, at least what the movie told us, there was no slip-ups.
Oh, yeah, this man is a hell of a performer. Hell of a performer.
And let me ask you this then, because I was thinking about it watching the movie back. You talk about somebody like David Ruffin, all the potential in the world, the talent, can sing, great for a promotion, great for a group, but his addiction kept getting the best of him. How's this for a comparison? And for everybody that's listening, I want you to process too and let me know what you guys think. David Ruffin is the John Jones of the Temptations.
You know what? That's actually pretty brilliant. That's a brilliant comparison because I don't know because I did this. Like I actually took the time to actually literally watch the real David Ruffin, perform, bro. Like again, the stage presence, the charisma, the swag he had, bro. Like he. By the way, let's not get it twisted. People think that he got kicked out of Temptation. That was it. No, David Ruffin went on to have a solo career himself. Okay, and he did pretty well as a solo career artist. Now, granted, because his addiction held him back, I do feel he had potential to be even greater, probably be even greater than Temptation if he kind of kept his head on straight. John Jones, we all know about John Jones. I mean, granted, he was able to overcome his addictions and he was able to overcome the bullshit that he put himself through. But just imagine just how much better and how much bigger he would be in the MMA world if he just stayed on the straight and narrow the whole time. Kind of like with Anderson Silva. When Anderson Silva was, stayed on the straight and narrow, was never involved with no bullshit. John Jones could have gotten where he's at in MMA now a lot quicker, for sure.
I mean, just think about what John Jones
is great.
Just think about remember that line he told DC at the press conference. I beat you after a weekend of cocaine. John was on a booger sugar binge and still beat one of the best fighters in that promotion. Like, if it ain't John Jones, number one in the light heavyweight division, it was Daniel Cormier. And those two, ironically, ideally, outside of Cain Velasquez, those three were the three best fighters in that promotion at that time. Between them three and Anderson and GSP, those five at that given time, because they were the tops of their respective divisions and they were pound for pound greats. John was able to do that while having drug parties and being intoxicated or under the influence and barely doing a lot of hard session training camps for fights. David Ruffin he'll go out on these little binges or whatever, being late for practices and rehearsals and meetings, missing meetings. But as soon as he got on that stage, that red light come on, baby, I will see you. And he was right there on the steps, on sync, on chord with everything. Like a John Jones. So, like, all that potential, but just think of how much bigger and how much more money they would have made, how much more of a reach they would have had, how much more success they would have been able to attain, how much more commercially successful they would be in a crossover they would have been. Like, think about if David Ruffin was in that crossover appeal and how much bigger he could have gotten as a solo star.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the coldest things I would see David Ruffin do. There was one, I thought he was bullshit when we said it in the movie, but this man, David Ruffin, when he would be singing, he would throw the mic up in the air, right? Would do a spin, grab the mic, and as he grabbed the mic, he falls down like on his knee, like on his ankles, right? Will fall down on his ankles as he's grabbing the mic and he's going down, fall on his ankles, and he will get right back up and start singing. Bro, that's some of the most coldest shit I've ever seen, bro. Like, not even Chris Brown do shit like that, bro. That just goes to how special David Ruffin was as a performer. Like, he would throw the mic up, spin, grab the mic, fall down his ankles, and come back and start singing again. Like, it was fucking crazy.
That's some Chris Brown type stuff.
It is, bro. But let's go ahead and get on to the movie. So the movie starts out with a young Otis Williams booking it to the Fox Theater, was still up to this very day, to see some R&B group, and with Trey Wiggs. In fact, we just call him Trey Wiggs now. It's just funny to me. So Quez, question. You know the hairstyles, like the conch and all that stuff back then. They know that the black folks wear back then. Would you want to torture yourself like that to get that hairstyle, bro?
Hell no. That's how a lot of people, when they get older, that's how they lost their hair.
Bro, like that scene when they were in the chair, bro, they were like, "Ooh, this shit burns." Like, my eyes started to water. I'm like, God damn.
Nope, can't do it. That felt like a chemical pill on top of their scalp.
Yeah, bro. I'm just like, yo, like, is that like, oh God, like, ugh. You have to let that shit sit in your hair for a few minutes. Like, ugh. Nah, I'm good. So basically, Otis Williams, wants to be a singer. Him and Al, they're doing, the little doo-wop songs in the corner. That's how we used to do back in the days. Like, you want to get noticed, start singing in the street corners whatsoever. Then, of course, he meets Melvin Blue, played by D.B. Woodside, who is known for his unique baritone voice. And it's funny when you watch this, because it's like, this is how people used to try to get signed nowadays. Would just be singing in the street corners. You would get in one neighborhood, you would get like 4 or 5 groups in one neighborhood, singing, trying to get noticed. Hopefully the right eyes sees them, And then he meets a Melvin, and we get to meet Jennifer Lewis, who again, I was telling Quez, again, she hey, listen, she could get it. Still could get it. And she plays that mama role just so perfectly. I can see why she's always somebody's mama. It just comes natural with Jennifer Lewis. It's the weirdest thing.
Some mama, grandma, auntie.
Yeah, like she plays that role. Like get him behind that tree, zip him that jacket. Yes, mama. Like, So then, Otis Williams and
he didn't have to call him a mama's boy though.
Well, he was a mama's boy. I mean, let's be real. He was. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's not. None at
all.
Except when you like certain females, that's a whole nother thing.
Oh well, yeah, that's definitely different. And then we get a nice little cute little moment when Otis meets his wife Josephine, played by Cousin Faith from Soul Food herself. Bro, yeah, back in the day, to get a woman, hey, as long as you can sing, you gotta.
If you couldn't sing, you had to have a good job.
Good thing you had to have a good job. Exactly. And he's literally singing Earth. It was a Keel Motor singing the Earth Angels. They're singing to her all the way to her house, which is crazy. And then there was a funny moment too where I totally forgot Kid was in this movie.
The DJ.
As the DJ, I was like, "Yo, I forgot Kid was in this. Another legend." Don't forget to check out our house party.
We got to get rid of the fade for that movie. Like, yeah, they weren't in style yet.
Well, to be fair, at that point, the fade was already gone at that point. But
yeah, it was. That was like 97, 98. Yeah, it was gone.
Yeah, it was gone. But it was always cool to see Kid in there. It's funny too because so Kid as a DJ, he calls up Otis Williams in the distance to come. I don't know. They weren't called Otis Williams. They weren't called Otis in the distance yet. I think they're called the Siberians at that point.
The Siberians, Vanessa Calloway renamed them. But I found it weird at that scene where they found out. It was like 3 or 4 of them. Like they was with all their girls in the back of the truck, and y'all all making out at the same time. That y'all tell me that doesn't look weird. Y'all just that horny. Y'all didn't even care.
Well, I mean, look, back in the 50s, from what I was told, everybody would go to the same makeout spot. The same makeout spot. That's where you go to make up with your girlfriend, and it just kind of it just was what it was back then.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. Y'all have a whole area like all y'all just make out or whatever like that. But at least at that point, y'all was all in separate cars. Y'all in the back of the same milk truck. That's weird.
But did you catch what Otis said too? He said, "Man, don't park right in front of the station. Why? Because we had a damn milk truck. That's why." The first 20 minutes was actually pretty funny. It was actually a pretty funny movie. And again, I'm just like I can just picture again all of us, me, you, Mark, and MG, just like I can just see one of us just saying like not in front of the store, we in the damn milk truck.
That would probably be me.
Yeah, park right in front of the station.
No, I take that back. That's Mark because he would say some bullshit.
That's definitely Mark. That's definitely Mark.
That's Mark.
Yeah, that's definitely Mark. I won't get upset that we've shown up in a milk truck. And so they meet up with Kid, who leads them to Vanessa Bell Calloway. Which, by the way, Vanessa Bell Calloway. Oh man, I've always had things for Vanessa Bell Calloway. Even back from To Coming to America, Inkwell. I always thought she was fine. She's still fine now. She just automatically say she's their manager. Now, Quez, would you have known something shady about her from jump? Because I would have.
I mean, the fact that my opportunity to get with a manager is coming in a leaking ceiling basement.
Yep.
That's just one sign. The second sign would have been like, all right, babe, I'm your manager. and is promising all these pipe dreams, but no paperwork.
No paperwork, no contract, just handshake.
Strike 2. And then strike 3. You gonna change our name? Who was you?
Who was right, who are you? Who are you? So they record their song, Come On. And then we fast forward to them performing at some sort of benefit, and this is where we get to meet Paul Williams and Eddie Kendricks, the Prime and the Primettes, which one of the members was a young Diana Ross. And I gotta say, outside of Otis Williams in the distance, the Prime and Primettes, the Prime and Primettes was the better performance, bro.
Oh, of course.
They were the better performance, you had Paul, you go, please, that thing he did with his finger, like, please, tell, like your mama don't mind, like your Paul, like I said, Paul was the coolest member of the group, bro. And Eddie Kendricks, boy, his voice, bro, the real Eddie Kendricks and Taryn Brooks' actual singer, bro, right, that's a very unique voice. Very unique voice, bro. Even to this very day. You don't have singers sing like Eddie Kendricks nowadays.
I mean, maybe to a smaller extent, like maybe a Bruno Mars.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But singing that high octave like that, you don't get that. You don't
at all.
You don't have that now. No, at all. And it works well. And it works well with with Paul, because you have Paul with the gruff voice, and then you have like I think they said that's why when Eddie and David would be on a Temptation song together, that it was the perfect combination, because you had David and Paul sometimes with the gruff, rough voice, and then you had Eddie with the sweet voice and all that stuff. So it was just a perfect compliment for the group. And apparently, and then after a while, they realized Vestabelle Calloway was a scammer. Like once they started asking questions, she got all defensive,
calling them ungrateful.
All they did was they were just asking questions, like
how you gonna tell me they gonna make some money? You pull out a knot, and it wasn't even theirs. Like, no, that's my money. You still have bills to pay. Like, what bills?
I still fucked over. But anyway, so they realized Vestabelle Calloway was a scammer, and then Al and them quit, and then all the other members quit. Lucky for Otis and Melvin, they ran into Berry Gordy before their performance, and got a business card for Berry Gordy. So they got to connect. They just got to recreate their group and then come back stronger to hopefully perform for Mr. Gordy from Motown, which at the time was the biggest black label in the country. So then Melvin's scheming ass lied to Otis and lied to Paul and Eddie for them to, because he said, because when he told Otis, he told Otis that they came back in to join our group. Yeah, they were begging to come our group, and then Paul, and according to Paul, Melvin told them that him and Otis want to join their group. So I'm like, oh damn, all right, Melvin, nice scheming ass, but all right. And then Al was able to get back into the group, and we get the original version of the Temptations. Paul became the choreographer, because even in the performance with the distance performance. He was saying they sound good, but the whole snap and shit is just boring. You know, like you need to add some spice, you need to add some dances, some choreography into it, which I agree. Why I think that's why New Edition is my favorite group of all time, because they not only have the vocals, they have the pristine choreography. Hell, we really say Temptations was the original New Edition when it comes to that, but that's either here or there. And it's cool. It's cool. I'm pretty sure New Edition themselves would agree. So then they finally so we got the original version of the Temptations, and then they got the choreography. They're able to go get the audition for Motown. And one problem, they cannot come up with a good name because the names they got was whack.
It was.
Like they ran into David Ruffin actually with him and his brother, or the nigga that was in Why Did I Get Married?
The home record that stole Jill Scott from me.
The home record, yes. I forgot he was in this shit. I'm like, damn, he's been around for a while.
I looked it up. That dude's only like 50, 51. I'm like, he still look the same too. Black don't track, bro. Shout out to Lamar Ruffin, man. Even though he stole my opportunity to take Jill from the evil bald-headed black dude from Law and Order.
Oh well, hey, Dwayne Johnson stole my girl, so we in the same boat.
In the same goddamn movie.
The same movie, yes.
But then again, at least you made it out better than Janet's husband in that movie.
Well, that was his dumbass fault. He recklessly ran out in the middle of the road.
That's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny.
And by the way, the fact that Janet low-key exposed that nigga too for who he really was behind the scenes makes that scene even more funnier. Like nigga, gay. But
I gotta watch the part 2 again. I actually watched part 1 last week. Again, I'm thinking like, oh, you got some nerve. You trying to be the perfectionist. All your friends stuff's jacked up, but then you still ain't dressed as skeleton. I'm getting off track. Let's keep going. But yeah, I gotta watch part 2 again.
Yeah, my wife watch him up, but Patricia can do whatever the hell she wants. Okay, let her grieve. Let her grieve, bro.
Don't worry, she got her karma in for color girls. So watch out, Jay.
Shit.
Or down low, brother. And it was Ghost too.
Moving on. All right, so their names were the Elgins, and even David was clowning them like the Elgins, like the wristwatch, and like shit. So Barry Gordy is not gonna let them audition until they come up with a better name. So they were going to do.
They waited all day.
And it was so funny. Even Eddie Kendrick was like, "Oh, thank God," because even he thought that name was whack. So they're going through names. Like the Radical, Spectacle, Velvet said Testicles at one point. Like the Undertakers, the Stiffs.
Bro, when that Hearst went by, and then Cherry went to the Hearsters, and then all of a sudden like the Undertakers. Oh God. Dude, if y'all was called the Undertakers, bro, the Undertaker would have had a weird look at your chest. James, can you imagine the Undertaker in a soul group?
But then Paul But credit to Paul once again. Paul being the coolest member in the group, he said, we need something that sticks. We need something sexy. We need something that stick out. You know what I'm saying? And then
the Undertakers would have been it.
No.
Yeah,
but can you imagine? But like here are the Undertakers, and these niggas show up, and you hear the Undertaker's gong, and them niggas five niggas just appear on stage.
I mean, you can't lie to me and tell me you can't hear Undertaker singing "Papa Was a Rolling Stone."
It was the 3rd of September.
Exactly. That was the day my brother came.
Oh shit, that'd be wild. The Undertaker. So then they had their Dr. Dre aftermath moment, and from Straight Outta Compton.
I'm sick. You right. Bro, no.
Then,
why Trey Wiggs look so angry, bro?
He was always angry. He was angry at the fact that they had to dance. Like, so Barry Gordy, he was like, all right, what's y'all's name? And then they zoom in on Otis's face and goes, The Temptations. Now I'm like, that did not happen. Y'all knew called us with The Temptations before that night. Fuck out of here. And to their credit, they kill the audition. Fucking kill it.
Barry sold it though for the longest.
Well, I mean, he did it the right way. He did it the right way. No selling it.
He was making him sweat. No homo, but he was making him sweat. Nervousness though.
Well, he did the same thing with the Jacksons. And their audition, he was no selling it. So
that's because he didn't want to sign no kids. He didn't even tell them it was good enough. He had to wait till he was out the office and tell the assistant, of course, sign him, get the paperwork. I don't want him on time.
I mean, listen. If I was Barry Gordy, I would be no selling it too. Like, I can't give it away. Like, I gotta make him nervous, And he signed them right then and there. That's how good their audition was. And then some bumps in the road happened along, bro. I ain't gonna hold you up, bro. I cannot imagine when I see that scene, bro. Was that Welcome to Motown? I can only imagine what it'll be like when the day comes that I go to a tryout for WWE, I kill it, and Triple H says, we're gonna bring you on. But I cannot imagine how that day. When they're all outside high fiving and Otis is running home to tell his girl. I cannot imagine how that's gonna be for me when when that day comes and Triple H says we're bringing you in, and I'm just calling everybody. I'm calling you all and telling, bro. There's not a greater feeling than you put in the work, you put in the hard work, you put in the grind, and it pays off, and you're signed to Motown. Like, brother, that was actually a good feel-good moment. I'm not gonna hold. That was a good feel-good moment there.
Yeah, for all of like 30 minutes. Otis ran home.
Yeah. Cousin Faith got pregnant. Wait a minute, it was the 60s, bro. Like, they're never going Raw. They're never going Monday Night Raw all the time, bro. But then we learned that they didn't come out the gate, popping the Temptations. It took them a while for them to get their feet going. I think Otis said it took them 2 years. The remote of 2-3 years where they actually had a hit.
How many songs did Smokey write?
Yeah, Smokey and Barry was very hands-on with their projects, and nothing but they had some good songs, but nothing that just really just stuck. You know what I'm saying? And then after a while, Al's getting frustrated, Paul's getting frustrated, the group's getting frustrated. But hey, gotta stick to it. Otis is like, hey, let's just stick to it. Let's just stick to the grind. Let's just keep working. Let's keep working.
Paul said, "Fuck that." He pulled a Heath Slater. I got kids. You trying to do it with one kid? I got 4 of them little motherfuckers.
Yeah, they were getting frustrated, man. And I get it. Like, I would be getting frustrated too. It's just like that we've been working at this every damn day and nothing's popping right now. And we still live at home, bro. Like,
I mean, I ain't mad at them for still being at home. I mean, look who Melvin's mother is, bro. She was cooking 4-course meals almost every night. I still be at home too.
I'll eat something. But anyway, so Quez,
come on, man.
So all right, so Quez, a question. How would you feel? Okay, let's say, like, what's the biggest label out now?
Are you talking about like any label?
Yeah, any label.
You can say let's go with Def Jam.
All right, Def Jam. Let's say we're all signed to Def Jam, right? And we've been signed to Def Jam for like a year or two now. And there's potential in us, but nothing isn't really sticking right now. None of our songs are sticking right now. Do you get Al's frustration? Do you get Paul's frustration? And how would you feel if we was in that situation where you're like, okay, we're at Def Jam, we got, even the head of Def Jam is behind us producing the record and nothing's hitting. Like, how would you feel? Would doubt start creeping in your mind, or would you have Otis's mindset where you're like, let's just keep going,
It depends on what your mindset is and what you have on the line. Like we just said with Paul. Paul has kids he has to support, and his wife having to support, and he's not bringing a lot, if any, money in to go ahead and do that and spend all this time away from home to go try to push these records that's not popping and making these songs and recording these songs. A lot of self-doubt can create or doubt in everybody else. In this process, you can become impatient. I feel like the way Otis was doing it was trying to be that lady, just trying to keep hope alive, optimism and stuff like that. But realistically, after a couple of years and something still don't pop, I wouldn't blame nobody for having that mindset. Be like, bro, this ain't gonna work, bro. I need to get a job. I need to get this money. And that's just being real for those, especially at those times.
Mm-hmm. Especially in the 60s, yeah.
It's like what Otis said in the beginning of the film. You were either singing or you were working at the factory.
Yep. And he told his dad, like, I'll be damned if I work in the assembly line. All right, so we get to the New Year's Eve performance, and they're killing it. They're killing it whatsoever. And then we learned that that Paul was really the one to bust Al over the head with a bottle. And Al's the one that gets fired. That's still wild to me, man. And then lucky enough, David Ruffin happens to be in the audience. And first they introduce his brother, Jimmy, the nigga from Why'd I Get Married. He kills it.
Oh, bro.
And then he introduced David Ruffin. And by the way, a lot of this was Leon's vocals, by the way. A lot of the songs outside of My Girl, that's really Leon singing the song, by the way. And he shut that shit down. And you have those moments, Quez, when you just see something special happening right in front of you right now.
Mm-hmm.
That nigga Dave Ruffin got on stage with Temptations, and you would think he'd been with the group for like 5 years. Like, that's how well he fit with them, just off rip.
He stole the show when you heard that note. Like the whole crowd got silent when he sung. Like for that moment, and how he held that note, it went from a silent to observation to a cheer.
Look, turn Otis to a fair girl. You see, Otis went even Otis went
I put it like that was like the moment. Think of this: if you're a Power Ranger fan, think of like this. Otis was the Jason of the group, of the original Power Rangers. And then leading, trying to keep the group together, and it's all good. And here comes Tommy, the Green Ranger, aka Leon, to take that team up to the next level. Even he was surprised. Like, I thought I was good, but damn, Tommy, David Ruffin got skills. How Tommy ended up being the new leader of that Power Ranger group. David Ruffin subliminally became the new head star. Like
just like that. And then that's when the Temptations was born. You know, he joins the group just like that. I mean, why not? Why couldn't you? And then once David Ruffin starts getting in the group, that's when the hits start coming.
Smokey can actually write a good song now. He was just waiting.
Damn.
He was waiting on David. It's like, oh yeah, the way you do your things, you do. Yeah, try this one. This is gonna knock their socks off.
We're gonna leave Smokey alone, man. Leave Smokey alone, man. You're a legend, bro.
Now you want to respect Smokey. Drinking that wine, smoking that smoke.
Look, even legends can miss every now and then, okay? Look, Michael missed a couple times. Rarely, but even he missed a couple times, okay? Go, that song he did with Eddie Murphy, bro, that shit was trash. But
Watch out. Your favorite singer of all time and your favorite comedian of all time do a record together. Not even your favorite comedian, you're the best comedian of all time. And
yes. What's up with you? What's up? What? Like, come on, man. Like, Eddie was high as hell when he did that record. Anyway, yeah, he claims he did no drugs. Bullshit, nigga. So the hits start coming. The way you do things to do. That's their first big hit. They go on tour, and how they went on tour back then was crazy because
they did the Chitlin circuit.
All the acts of Motown, they did the Chitlin circuit, and all the acts of Motown was all one bus. You know, like you had the Temptations, Diana Ross and the Supremes, Marvin Gaye, all on one bus. But imagine being on that bus, bro. And then we see them performing live, and then we see Paul, who was the choreographer of the group, one of the smoothest shit. Where they're going through the routine of the way you do things to do, and then one of the original things was, you want to smell some perfume, and they were going to sniff this perfume, and then right on cue, Paul was like, "Nah, we ain't gonna do that. That shit looks lame. And we're gonna open perfume, we're gonna put it on us, and then we're gonna do like a side step." And how they did it, how they edited that was like Paul said it, and then when they had to go do it, they jumped right into the performance, and how smooth that shit looked.
It was like, smooth. I seen that. Like, that was clean.
That shit was clean. So they're performing. Things are looking up for the Temptations right now. They're performing in high schools, bro. Damn, like, ooh, that's just. Yeah, there weren't like arenas and shit back then. Back then, all the rock and roll stuff they performed in high schools, a little like it wasn't stadiums yet. then you get to touch that they did have a little run-ins with racism, of course, obviously, especially when they travel down south. That nigga Dave wanted to whoop their asses with a tire iron. He never chased them down his damn self.
Full speed. Full speed. And Fresh started hawking my own. It's like, boy, get back here. You ain't got no weapon.
Get back here.
But
and then
he was on go.
He was on go. He was on go. And then you get one of the best scenes in the movie where probably the only time David and Otis have like a real heart to heart when Otis sees David and David look like he's just thinking, he's just reflecting really hard. And Otis tells him, hey man, like wait, what's wrong? And he's like, hey man, nothing's wrong, man. Hey, everything's right. Like the first time in my life, everything is just going just right. And that was some real shit because I'm pretty sure, Quez, you've been there, I've been there, people that's watched has been there when you don't really think about it sometimes. You're just constantly on the move, constantly on the go. You never really have time to think about stuff. And then we actually sit down and think about it, even if you ain't rich or nothing like that, but just life is just going in the right direction for you. And you just kind of sit back and think like, I ain't gonna lie, like things are going pretty well for me right now. Like, you ever had that moment, Quez, where you like we actually sit down and think, and you just be like, hey, I mean, of course we want to get better, but when you think about it right now, the circumstances you're in, you're like, hey, things are going pretty good for me right now.
I try to do that more often because like my life's always like in like constant motion. Like and James, you recognize this too for you. Like when you constantly like on go between work stuff, personal stuff, obligations that you have to do and everything, like you whenever you get a chance to like sit back and just process everything, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, what you think about it. When you have those moments where you think, you just sit back and count your blessings and think, my life isn't too bad right now the way I'm moving. Or I need to adjust so I can actually enjoy the fruits of my labor the way I'm working and stuff like that. And then just focus on my surroundings and think like, I want this piece. I'm looking for what I want. And David found his, what it appeared to. Because if you remember back at that New Year's Eve night, when they all went back to Blue's house, where their moms cooked dinner, and David just told everybody in the house, it's like, what's up with you, David? What you want? He just said, I just want to sing. That's all I want to do. And just feel like I belong somewhere. Feel like I belong somewhere and I want to sing. And then you fast forward to that moment, he felt like he found that. He found the family that he feels like he belongs with. He gets to sing and gets taste of success and knows there could be more to come. And he's finding his purpose and he's happy.
Exactly. Exactly. And even with me, like, of course, y'all know the dream I'm trying to get to. But as of right now, like, look, I'm looking back on it. Like, I literally had this, like, actually, like, a couple days ago, I was at home during one of my off days, and I'm like, yo, man, like, I got money in the bank, my bills are paid, got a roof over my head, got clothes, I'm not starving. I got food in the refrigerator. I'm good. Like, I'm good right now. You know what I'm saying? And this real quick, life could be so much. I know life could be so much simple if you just make it simple. But yeah, I thought that was a really, really, really deep moment right there with Otis and David, for sure. And
every time I see that scene, I always forget because I be thinking, is that a crack pipe?
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, man?
Come on, James. You know if it wasn't then at that point, it was going to be later in the film. Come on.
Oh my God, bro.
Relationship with your
Oh my God.
Yeah, remember what we were talking about earlier about that one project, that one film that I thought we was mature enough yet? Nah, not yet.
So anyway, moving on.
Hold on, wait. Before we move on, we gotta recognize everybody that's watching right now. We appreciate y'all for watching. We got Wide in the house, Wide Diggy in the house. What up, bro? Said, what's up, James and Quez? What's good with you, dog?
What's up? What's up?
What's your thoughts on the Temptation movie, man?
Oh, and really quickly, because Quez, you said you had a problem with this in the movie. So the tour is over. The tour is over. Everything's all good, and of course, cousin Faith, Josephine, is waiting. She ain't seen Otis. She ain't seen Otis in months. You know what that means? Like, Otis and Josephine go be fucking like cats and dogs when she gets home, and she's happy to see Otis, but she sees Otis, smitten with another woman, and she assumes they're having an affair, and she seems bitter about it. What feels like the rest of the movie. And Quez, you say that she overreacted?
I called her something else, but that's a whole nother thing. I'm just like, yo, if you see something, say something. If you really know something, if you think you know something, you need clarity. Because any other woman, James, what other woman would see their man, their husband, hugged up with another woman and not approach him either at that time or a little bit after and ask them about it? She's like, no, I'm fine. And then just gives him a cold shoulder the rest of the way. Like, say something, what's up? Because he made a beeline towards you, because what it looked like to me was like a hug and just a talking. And then just went straight to your wife. Just like, don't kiss me, nigga.
Yeah, like sometimes women act like we're supposed to know what the hell that be on their minds, bro. It's like we don't know what the fuck y'all be thinking at most sometimes, but
read your mind. I ain't no fine. What you talking about?
Shit. So Otis is going through that bullshit, and while at the same time, Smokey Robinson gets with the group, and we see them creating their signature song, "My Girl."
You heard what he said about that?
What, take it to church?
No, he say, I wrote this song for David.
Yes, I did hear that. So we all know My Girl. Like we all know, I guess you say what can. Well, we all know My Girl. Massive success, #1 song in the country. And we see the scene with the family, watching them on TV performing, and bro, like how Leon and the rest of the cast, how they mirrored the real Temptations, was just fantastic. They legit looked like the real life Temptations. That's how good they performed the song.
Did you see? I think the videos might still be on YouTube. Did you see the side-by-side version between like the actual video and then their version of it?
No, I didn't.
I think it might still be on YouTube where they took Temptations version, like the real group, and then this group, and see how well it actually mirrored one another from the film and the arrived music video. It was like nearly spot on.
Yeah, you could tell they studied. They definitely studied, did their homework. And then now the group is the biggest black group in the world. You know, like they got money, success, fame. I think the checks they were getting, like, wasn't it like I forgot. Wasn't it like 10,000, like 13, 15,000, something like that? That their own individual checks would say.
I think it was like, because I didn't know if that was like a one, and if the check started like 2,500 or 12,500, and they forgot a zero. It was written weird. I couldn't make out what the number said. Like I seen like 12500, and I'm like, is that 12,500 or is that 1,250? Like the way they had it written on or stamped on there, I couldn't make out the number. Either way, it looked like they first big checks. So
right.
let's just say, for like the sake of argument or whatever debate, let's say if those checks was like they were all even, mind you, they were also all even. By the way, not one person got more than another one. They all had the same checks. You see their names: Eddie Kendricks, Otis Williams, David Ruffin. They all had checks like 12,500, and they used that money. They all got cars. They was able to get houses. They was able to buy their mama a car. Like you see, Otis bought his mom's a car. Like they ain't broke no more.
They ain't broke. Like they making money. They making money, especially at that time, like 67, 68. But shit, like shit, 12,000. Like shit, that was big money back then. Big money.
You could buy a house for that much.
Yeah, like yeah, bro. So they made it. Like they made it. You know, I like the scene when they're basically all showing off in front of the station, showing off their different cars and stuff. It's funny. They all went from buying from a milk truck, to buying, like Cadillacs.
And then what David pull up in?
It wasn't a limo, but he had his own car, had a driver with it. And this is when you can see that David, the ego starting to grow a little bit. He felt like he had the front on all the members of the group. And then, of course, with the success, there's always got to be that one nigga in the group that starts getting big-headed. Now, Quez, let me ask
Josephine.
you. Oh, stop it. But she was even still bitter watching the oldest before my girl.
Bro, they all around the TV. You had Melvin's wife at the TV watching. You had Otis's mama, Melvin's mom. You see Jennifer Lewis. Oh, there goes my baby. Like a true Jennifer Lewis passion.
Otis's father, who was against him, singing, looking at him like a proud dad.
Yeah, like even his daddy was proud of him. He just had his wife over there in the background, just hating ass. Like, man. The only thing I'm thinking about is like, she about to take him to the cleaners in this divorce.
Nah, fuck that. She's like, no, I'm about to freaking take him to divorce his ass. I'm gonna fuck Vanessa Williams' husband.
You do why? We didn't even talk about that. Let's move on. But then that goes to the point. She's vindictive, bro. She was just hating. Like, it was a moment for everybody to be happy. She had to put an effort to be still upset at him. And you could have just talked about it, just got clarification. Oh no, that's just my friend. We was on tour. Like, we got close, but hey, we was just professional. You're my wife. And just go through that and then just have that, bro. It's just like, no, we ain't even gonna talk about that. Hating ass.
All right, so
and then while we on the subject, let's skip
here we go.
Bit. Let's
Here we
scale
go.
back a little bit. Think about it. Like, think all the way back when Otis got excited when they first got signed to Motown. Everybody happy to sign. She had to bring the mood down. Talk about something. I'm pregnant. Nobody told you to get pregnant. Okay, let me stop. I'm joking. But for real, like Otis was happy that he was going to be a dad. He made every inkling he was going to raise the child with her, not going to leave her, and even offered to marry her, like off the bungee. Like, we can get married, so we don't have no little bastard child. Like, we gonna make it happen. We gonna make this difference. And he was happy about it. She still, even at that point, she wasn't calmed down. She wasn't assured. Like, she was still kind of reserved off of that. Still, like,
no, Quez. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying that they could have talked it out. I understand what you're saying. How they could have talked it out. Look, they could have talked it out. Like, she could have said, "So, who?" The reason why I've been upset with you because I feel like you were having an affair with one of the members of the Supremes, and then Otis could say that no, we was just talking or whatsoever. And you know what Josephine probably would have said?
But when you go to history, let's go into history. Don't just go to your history. Let's go to the history.
So Josephine does coke too?
I'm just saying, bro. Like, sometimes women, we try to reason with women when it comes to shit like that. There's no reason, but they have their version of the story, and that's it. They sticking to it.
But what version did she hear outside of her own jealousy in her own head? Like, any woman I can understand. Your husband's going on tour with Diana Ross and the Supremes. You would think he would have sampled their Kool-Aid, but he may have not. But that's just your insecurity and jealousy in the way of clouding your judgment into thinking what may have happened but did not happen. Probably didn't happen. But it all just goes about you having a conversation and asking about it. Like, you hugged up a little too close with him. I don't feel comfortable. What's going on? And then just make it known with that. But nah, you too much want to keep it to the silence of like, okay, I see you. Don't hug nothing else. Don't kiss me. Do nothing else. Okay, just pick up your son. That's all we gotta talk about.
Pick up your son.
But anyway, everybody got money. They gain cars. Ruffin got a limo that wasn't a limo. Everything's looking good up until they hit up that picnic when they on a break from tour.
Which, by the way, I think at this point, 1966. I think at this point, the Jackson 5. I think at this point, they're in Motown at this point, so a little bit nice to have like a little mention, little Michael, so yeah, so they're all making money. Now I gotta ask Quez, who do you think will be the first to become big-headed in our group if we start making money?
You think so? Wait, what? Me? Your name is Primetime.
Nah, bro. No. You see, the one thing about me, okay, I'm a team player first. All right, I would not become big-headed, okay? If anybody gonna start becoming a little big-headed, I would more say Arlo.
Okay, first of all, let's do process of elimination. Arlo and Mark got a lot of money already, so we could just cross them off.
Okay.
They already got money, so we already know how they act, how they already act around us.
Okay.
So I'm not even gonna count them. MG just gonna add a sense of bougie to his already hood character. Like, he's just not really gonna change much, except probably the car he's driving and the woman he'll be able to pull now. But he ain't gonna be like big-headed, like egotistical. Me, I act like I'm broke even if I'm a millionaire.
Oh shit.
Like, dude, I'm broke. I don't care how much money you throw at me. Like, we get our first record check and it say like, let's say it says like $135,000. I'm spending that shit like I only got 3,500. Like, I'm still broke.
Okay, now you put it that way. Okay, look, maybe every now and then I'll buy me a flashy suit, but hey, that don't mean I would.
Your name is prime time. Hell, you can finally buy that Mustang you lied about all these years.
Oh shit! You gotta go there with that, man. Why you gotta bring up whole shit, bro? But
you asked.
All right, you know what?
If I get all that kind of money, if I get that kind of money, I'm buying me a Honda. Forget that.
You know what's funny?
I'm buying me a Honda HRV. Forget the Lambo. Forget the Mustang. Shoot, bro. You can keep all that. You can keep the Ferrari. You can keep the.
I'll take the Ferrari. I'll take the Ferrari. Yeah, okay, yeah. I would probably be the flashy one of the group for sure. Yeah, because my prime time persona. Yeah, it would be activated sometimes, but I would still be humble. You know,
I have to be humble to a fault. Like, I can't even buy none of those cars. I don't know how to drop stick. I can't drop stick shift. I look like driving a Ferrari. You know, I can't even drop stick shift.
So they're at the picnic, and this is around the time when David is starting to develop an ego. You know, he starts thinking that he's the reason for the Temptations' success. You know, using drugs, snorting that white girl, and showing up late for rehearsals and meetings, if he even shows up at all sometimes. And it gets to a point where, and again, they kind of allude to it. They don't go all the way, but they allude that, you know, David's more so on the abusive side of the game when it comes to females. And it gets to a point where we get to that classic scene with Otis and Melvin, where they basically stage an intervention. And they basically tell him either clean up his act or he's fired. And that's where we get, you know, that iconic moment from Leon when he's like, you know, y'all wish y'all could work it like I do, but you can't, because there's only one David Ruffin. And without him, here's the group in search of a David Ruffin. Like, hurting the group? I'm the best that ever happened to this damn group. You know, I'm the one selling the records. They're coming to see me. No, they're coming to see the Temptations. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Leon kills this role, bro. He killed it, you know, and I refuse to let you go. Y'all begging me not to go. and that's the scene. That is the scene of David Ruffin right there. If you want to see a scene where you can just put David Ruffin in a vacuum, that's the scene right there. So then you got the David Ruffin problem where he was getting worse and worse, more big-headed as the weeks goes on.
I blame Flint.
Listen, he just looks like a nigga. He just looks like a nigga you shouldn't trust. I'm sorry. He was saying, just call me by my first name, bro. I'm like, I don't trust you. That was David's dealer, by the way.
And you name yourself after the only city in Michigan that could be more violent than Detroit. Flint.
Yeah. I can't trust him. Can't trust him. You know, it's implied that Flint's David's connect pretty much.
Oh, and that's talk about got some candy. We can have a party.
That sunshine, yeah.
Like, bro, like he had it at the cookout. He had it at his house.
Mm-hmm. Dang. Mm-hmm. And so then you got a situation where, okay, they meet their new manager, Shelley Berger, and the plan for the Temptations are to expand to a mainstream white audience. And clearly the group, especially Paul, is reluctant to do that because he's afraid that their core fans going to view them as sellouts. Now,
I'll blame him for
I get it. I don't blame him. I don't blame him for thinking that at all. But how do you feel about that? You know, when you have an artist that has his sound, like his original core sound, and then instead of trying to appease to his core fans, he's now starting to appeal to the masses, and you see that the music is becoming different than what they are. Like, do you feel the Temptations and especially Paul was right to feel the way that he felt?
I don't blame Paul for feeling how he felt. Like, you're just gonna tell me like the way our style and our sound is working, and you want us to go to a major stage and change up our content and our style a little bit to please these other audiences. And this is coming from a white manager telling a group to change this up.
Here we go.
To cross. Oh, no. I could go there. I could go all the way there, but I'm trying not to. I could channel my Dr. Umar, but I'm trying. I'm trying to like keep it in balance because like I do see the point with that. Like, how is and this is probably how he felt anyway. Like, how is somebody like a white manager gonna tell a black group how they supposed to be acting and how they're gonna cross over to appeal to all audiences without worrying about selling out to your own population, selling out to your own core audience? Like, how are we gonna trust you to do that? But then Barry Gordy over here, like, this dude could get you to the award shows, arena tours, Grammys. Mm-hmm. Like, he can help y'all get there. Because Barry, forget all that. He wasn't worried about selling out. Now he's trying to get them dollars in. He's trying to get them awards, trying to get them accolades, trying to get them there.
Which I can see it. I can see it from the business side.
Yeah. And then if you stick to that box, like how Paul was saying, yeah, it could work, but you guys are gonna box yourselves in and be a little bit samey with that material, and you're gonna eventually get played out. And you're gonna forever have reached that ceiling where you guys are not gonna be able to pass, that you guys can't get out your own way to take that next step. Like,
and I look at it like this, like again, like I just look at Michael Jackson, for example. Like, Michael knew that he had to expand. If he wanted to get to the level that he would later become, he had to expand. And I'm pretty sure that Michael liked it all the way. Of course not. Of course not, because I know Michael dealt with a lot of bullshit racism from the higher ups of his damn self. But would you rather, like Barry Gordy said, would you rather be the best black group, or would you be what would be known as the best group, period? Makes sense to me.
It does. But it all just goes about do you trust this man to take y'all there?
Right. Which, to be fair, as the movie progressed, Shelley did do right by them. Why you pausing? Why you pausing?
So I was gonna say something. So move on before I say it.
All right. So
just because never mind. No, yeah, okay. Go ahead, bro.
All right. So then they arrive at the Copa, and then another classic moment where David, of course, is late for the show. They perform "Get Ready," and David literally performs right in the middle of the performance. And I don't know if we said this either off there at the beginning of the show. Quez, you said you would have fought the very second he said David Ruffin and the Temptations. Me, I would have waited. I would have waited till we got backstage to start the fight. But like you said though, yeah, he was late. But David Leon's smooth ass, what happened? He walked on stage and fell right into the position. Like he knew what part of the choreography they were in, and he went right straight into it.
Wait! You can't leave out the spotlight.
He had the spotlight. He did have the spotlight. Yeah, that would have been a problem. Okay, he had to make his presence known. He was showing up.
Told you, bro. This was Batista in 2010, bro. When he was world champion.
It was.
He came out with that spotlight.
Came up with the spotlight.
All eyes on me,
nigga. So then that's when we get to the scene when the group votes David out. Another iconic moment from Leon, where he's calling him ungrateful. I've made your asses. Like, it's an iconic moment from great performance by Leon.
When he walked up, that whole scene where he walked up and then everybody else, which by the way, they was soft. They couldn't handle that business themselves. They sent out their manager. They was like, go. Give him that letter.
I will give you that, Quez. I'll give you that, Quez. That they didn't have the balls to do it in front of David's face. You're right. That was soft. That was soft. I will say that.
Especially Otis. You were so hyped trying to get him out the group, but you weren't even man enough to go give him the letter. So, like, fuck the letter. Just tell him you out. And if there's a letter, give him the letter and just tell him what it is. But don't send out the manager to do y'all dirty work. And you was the loudest one champagne to get this dude out. Go handle it. Since you want to be the leader so much, and then make Blue say yes. Like, man. But then, like, it was just that whole scene, which, what did it consist of? I'm about to say, James, that was supposed to be your alley. Like, it consisted of what?
I'm sorry. What was he saying?
And what was David all doing during that scene? Like, after he got that letter?
Oh, yeah, he was like, it was funny because Derek gets the letter. He's flipping out, right? And then he tried to play it cool. He tried to walk away like, I don't care. Credit to Leon. Credit to Leon. His performance, like
that smirk.
He had that smirk. He tried to act like he didn't care. But when he walked away, he was hurt. He legit felt hurt that the group voted him out like that.
He did that run like when you did as a kid, when your mama whooped you at a park and she told you to go in the car. And you did that.
No.
Like, that ain't hurt.
No.
Like, you could tell he cried in the car. Like, he knew he messed up.
So then we fast forward to 1968. We get to Dennis Edwards being introduced to the group as the replacement for David. And this is when they enter their psychedelic soul era with one of my favorite Temptation songs, Cloud 9. And they're performing in Detroit. Again, full circle moment, performing in Detroit Fox Theater, where it was in the beginning of the film. And
great place.
And by the way, they fucking killed it. Cloud9, they killed that performance. And that another classic moment where David jumps on stage. And bro, I cannot imagine. Can you imagine if Twitter was around back then, bro? David jumps on. Now, of course, we know what the reality was according to Dennis Edwards. He jumps on stage, crowd goes crazy, and David is swearing up and down. He's good. He's straight. He wants to come back. He's sorry. Otis and Melvin ain't hearing none of that. Paul is pretty much in the background. Eddie is the only one that's trying to have David's back. And he's crying and pleading, and then Shelley kicks David out. And they know, what the hell, David Ruffin? Y'all ain't nothing. Now, Quez, what would you have done? What would you have done? Now, again, I think if David just simply just straight up and went up to the group and just talked to him, man to man, I know funny because they're in the last scene that we just talked about, but if he just went straight up to them and said, like, hey, y'all, look, I'm sorry for the way I acted. Look, I'm good. I'm straight. I'm on the straight now. I want to come back. I'm sure they probably would have considered it.
No.
But how he did it about just jumping up on stage, bro, like, nah, that ain't the way to do it, bro. That ain't the way to do it. He acted like, well, he...
James, you still there?
Yeah.
I'm about to say you just stopped. I thought you had cut off. Like you was like
no.
Sentence, you just stopped.
No. What I was saying was is that David was acting like an ex that would not go away on some Robin giving Ted estate type shit. And what I was saying was, if David had just went up to the group and before then said, hey, y'all, I'm good. I'm straight. I apologize for the way I acted. I want to come back. I'm sure Otis then would have considered bringing him back to the group. But him jumping up on stage and sabotaging the performance like that? Nah, bro, that ain't the way to go. That ain't the way to do it.
He didn't sabotage it.
In their minds, he sabotaged it.
Okay, maybe in their mind, I think they sabotaged because he was like a last minute entry, but he still added with the flow and it got the crowd super excited. But I don't think that method would have worked either. Otis, once he kicks you out, like, and had enough with you, you're done. Like, even Allan has made Tati up the group. Otis and them let him come back. But when Otis fires you, you're done. Like, I don't care if David became Mother Teresa and been super duper clean from drugs and then like giving toys away to all the kids back in Detroit. Otis was not letting them back in the group. I don't think there was nothing he could have done. Like, he was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. I think as much as that moment didn't help him either, with me personally, I would have been so mad that he did that. But I could tell by the look on his face. Like he said, don't you see I'm clean? Look at me. I'm asking you, did you believe he was clean?
Me?
Yes, at that point. Not what we knew what transpired after that, but at that moment, you believe he was clean.
No. Because a sober person wouldn't do no shit like that.
A desperate person, if they were sober, they would.
Desperate person, but here's the thing, like, listen, David, we was talking about how great David. If you feel that you that good, and David did because he had some solo records himself, make your own success, create your own way. You know what I mean? Like, do what Bobby Brown would do 30 years after. Become bigger than us. But if you really felt the way, like, I feel like I'm in Temptations right now. I would tell David, like, yo, David, okay, if you feel this way, why didn't you just come to us? Why do you do some bullshit like that? You know, like, nah, bro. But that's not. I wouldn't think he's straight right there, personally. That's some ex-girlfriend behavior he just did right there.
But then remember how much time went past between when he got kicked out and then that scene. It was 2 years. So during that time frame,
2 years, bro.
It's been 2 years. So there's time that passed. Maybe I was at a point it was like where he stopped. Maybe he wasn't actively trying to not use, but where it was a point where he just stopped. And I did believe at that point personally he was not using. So look at my face. Can't you see that I'm straight? He never tried to pull that at any other time where he wasn't straight or he wasn't under the influence, where he's trying to convince people that he wasn't high. It was just more so like, I need to be in this group. Y'all keep me in this group, or y'all some SOBs. You were ungrateful. That was the only time where he tried to assist people to like, I'm straight. I'm not using anymore. And he did that, I believe, just so he can get back that feeling he always had. To do the music, to be back around his brothers, to be with that group that gave him that satisfaction. Because like you said, when he got fired, he lost that. He lost everything that helped him get to that point where he was. And he wanted to honestly get that back. And when he did it, he probably ain't see no point of trying to continue this facade. He's going to continue being that R&B soul bad boy rock star party dude and do the solo thing. But again, I don't blame him for trying to do that. Because there was no way Otis was going to get back in that group. They should be trying to call out. Hell, he wouldn't even meet with him for a sit down.
Look, man, I just feel I just feel that whole situation like, yeah, if he did, like, again, if this is our group and then one of us did some shit like that, bro, but the second we get backstage, bro,
He'll tell it like he gave me some kind of Bruce Lee cross kick or something.
I kicked the shit out of him.
Why you gotta kick MG like that, bro?
I'm just saying, bro. Like, no, like you could have came to us with that. But yeah, and what's so fucked up though? We didn't see it at the time because the drama that David brung. But this was the beginning of the end for Paul. This is the part of the movie that hurts me every time. Like I said, all throughout the show, I would say he's my personal favorite member of the group. I think he's the most coolest, the most smoothest member of the group. Now, for some reason, this movie did not touch on this. But the reason why Paul was drinking as much, because the movie did establish early, especially when they started going out on tour, Paul wasn't drinking like that. Like he was a good clean cut drinking milk on the bus, which I think is on some Kurt Angle shit. And
it was hinted at that briefly when his wife was talking to him, Otis. It was hinted briefly like he wasn't like this, but never explained why.
Right. Well, I did some. Why Paul was drinking as much as he was because he had a sickle cell, and in the 60s they weren't medically prepared on how to handle sickle cell back then, so Paul would be in pain a lot. And that's why he would drink so much. It was just to ease the pain from a sickle cell. But that's why it was like the movie made it seem like he was just doing it, just to do it. No, it was because he was legit sick, and that was the only way how he could ease the pain he was going through. And that's the one thing I kind of did not like is that they made it seem like Paul just became a drunk just off the success of the group. Like, no, because he was hurting, and it was the only way how he knew how to, because you couldn't go to a doctor on how to treat that because they didn't know how to. And credit to Christian Payton, especially this part of the movie, he acts his ass off. That scene when he's singing in the party drunk, like. He felt that shit with his soul, bro. Like, you felt the pain in his voice when he's singing that shit. So you get a sense that there's troubles in the group with the success. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they won Grammys, they're Grammy winners, all that stuff, but there's internal struggles. You got, Otis having his family problems. It's pretty much alluded that Josephine and Otis have divorced at this point. Melvin is started having arthritis. What?
That chick ungrateful.
Look, man. Listen, I got soul food jokes for days. I'm leaving it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone, bro. Melvin is getting arthritis in his legs.
Ain't no regular arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah.
The arthritis that will debilitate you. Like that.
Yeah.
I know I have friends that actually have that. And they young and they going through that type of stuff where they have to be careful, like how they move, watch their diet and stuff, and make sure they on their medications to help manage even that type of stuff, because that stuff ain't no joke. Like I have a friend that literally has to take steroids to manage that arthritis. So for Melvin to go through that,
yeah, man, and look, and I get. You see, this is why you need people around you, because look, the reason why because the doctor is telling Melvin that that he needs to retire, pretty much. That he needs to retire, and Melvin, because he loves performing. He loves being out on that stage, and I get it. Look, I get it. Look, I completely get it, man. Look, listen. Look, as someone who's a performer my damn self, there's no better rush. They're going out there in front of screaming fans, performing in front of screaming fans. Like, there's no, like, I used to think that whole, like, there's no other drug. Like, I used to think the whole drug thing was bullshit, but it's the truth. When you go out there, you get that energy from the crowd. When you go out there, bro, there's nothing like it. Nothing. And this is why when you hear, wrestlers retire, but they always come back, it's because of that. You know what I'm saying? Like singers, dancers, they say they're going to retire, but they always come back for one tour, because you got to get that rush of screaming fans. And I get it. I completely get Melvin's point, where he's like, he doesn't want it to end. But at the same time, sometimes you need people to save you from yourself. And that's he's taking these cortisone shots to ease the symptoms. It's gonna get him in the long run. But Melvin, again, he just loves performing. He just loves being in front of on that stage. Doesn't want to give it up.
Hey, James, check our chat, because I had a comment for that, but I didn't think I could say it on air.
I mean, you already said what the crap. Well, hey, you see, there you go. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point.
You can put something off for so long where it's out of your hands, and it could be out of your hands anymore, whether or not if you could control it or not.
I mean, why do you think Undertaker didn't want to retire for so fucking long, bro? It's just, like one night you have like 100,000 fans chanting Undertaker, and you're telling me that I got to give this up? It's like
he was chasing that dragon.
Exactly, man. So I see it on both sides.
He was the original. He was original Cody. He had to finish the story.
Man, and it took some crazy circumstances, but I felt he did with the Boneyard match. I thought the Boneyard was perfect for him.
And would you believe he still wanted to come back for this past WrestleMania?
I'm just like, nigga, what? Oh. But again, I get it. I get it. I completely get it. Like, if I was told even today that James got to stop wrestling, I'm like, oh, really? Do I have to? It's like, ugh.
Well, you're different. You right there on the verge of like potentially getting signed, like picking up, like you're really starting to get steam, and then you're being told to stop before you even get started. Like you're right there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you wouldn't want to. Of course, you wouldn't want to stop right before the big moment that you got.
Right. I mean, what about you, Quez? Like, what would you do in this situation? Like, you love performing, you love being on that stage. Like, would you?
Plus, this is
shut it down.
Plus, this is how I make a living too.
Right. Exactly.
It would be a very difficult decision for me. What I had to do, like, I would take what my doctors advised me. Well, I'll take my doctor's advice and definitely consider it and advise with them, see if there's any other options. I would talk with the group and let them know about what's going on because, like, if I was with y'all in the group and if they're telling me if I got to stop, I would run that past y'all to run over some options of what you guys think and what we could do about it. It's so just like keep y'all in the loop on certain things. And there'll be a lot of self-reflection. I got to pray about it, see what's up, and ultimately make the best decision that is best for me, that can pay off for the group, and not so much like overwhelm and harm me long term. Because it's like what the doctor said, you could be in a wheelchair if you don't stop. Like, it's one thing to YOLO, it's another thing to be like, dang, you said I would be in a wheelchair by the time I'm like 50 something. I'm 35 and I'm confined. Like, you never know.
Yeah, man.
It's a very difficult decision, especially to tell somebody that's passionate about something that they can't do anything. But you have to be responsible at it. But that's just me. Ultimately, Melvin made his decision to be like, you know what? Just give me the shots. Just give me the shots. I'll keep going.
So he gets the shot, and you get to a performance where, look, man, they perform Psychedelic Shack, and Paul is just drunk out of his mind. Right? He's so drunk he can't even sing on key no more. And thankfully they got through it. Barely got through it. And Paul is passing out drunk, throwing up. And Shelley has to make the call, like, no, we gotta do, Otis. And Eddie, defending his homie, he's like, no, Paul's not on that stage. I'm not on that stage whatsoever. And he said, I'm responsible for Paul. And Shelley he had a good bar behind him. He's like, yeah, where were you when you was getting blasted? And I was just like, damn, that was kind of a low blow. Bar was kind of a low blow. It got so bad that the homeboy from the Distance days had to sing backup for Paul where Paul sang. Like, that's how bad it got, bro. Then it eventually gets to a point where, now this is where the movie kind of fucks up, because they said that Paul's condition has gotten so bad that he may have to retire. Now, originally, they made it seem like they just had Paul on the sidelines while Temptations kept going. Not true at all. Paul still toured with the group as their choreographer. Like, he was still creating the dance numbers for the group. He just wasn't out there performing like that with them no more. And it gets so bad with Paul. And again, shout out to Christopher Payne. Like, he gives a great performance in this part of the movie, where one, Eddie is so frustrated because he knows what's going to happen. He knows what Otis is going to do. And he ends up and winds up leaving the group. Because, he doesn't want to be there for what they're going to do with Paul in a situation where Paul's stressing him out whatsoever. So,
bro, that scene, man, where they did Just My Imagination, and then Eddie would just look over when it was all singing, and then he would see Paul, even though Paul wasn't there.
And what's so crazy? I kind of prefer the movie version than the actual version. Just my imagination.
Dude, I'm the same way. Like I really like the original, but the movie version, it was slightly better.
It was slightly better. It was slightly. Yes, indeed. And what's so funny is that
this was not a funny scene, dude.
it's not a funny scene, but the scene when they're performing on stage and Eddie is looking to his left, you see that dude from the Distance Days, like how they were staring at each other always made me laugh. But Eddie. Eddie was looking at him like, I can't stand your ass. So Eddie is gone, and I'm sorry, that's another big loss for the group. Eddie Kendricks, that's a huge loss. So you got all that situation where Eddie quits the group.
It was all the new people too.
Right. And then Otis, how'd you feel about the side part with Otis and his son?
Which part?
you see when they're playing basketball, and he's like, you're always on the road. It's your job to be my father. So be my father. His fucked up teeth. You know what that sound like to me, bro?
And you thought I was petty talking about Josephine. You talk
No,
bro. You can't talk about me, dude. No,
I'm just saying. But know that sounded like to me, bro? That sounded like a little boy that was repeating the words of a bitter. You see, Quez, you're a bad influence on me. It sounded like to me he's repeating the words.
You're seeing my point. You're seeing my point this whole time because that boy sounded like a female. He sounded like a female. He's repeating all stuff his mother was telling him. Like,
yeah.
Josephine is the definition of a bitter mother who left the father of your kid. And then just resents the dude and talks bad about him in front of her homegirls, in front of your son. It's like, look here, well, my daddy's not coming. He's still on tour. He doesn't put our family first.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be teaching you how to ride a bike. He's supposed to be teaching you how to fight. He's supposed to be teaching you how to talk to girls. He's supposed to be a father for you, but he's not around enough, just like he wasn't around for our family.
Yeah.
Girl, you kept him away. You kept him away.
Yeah, you're right. You
ain't show him no love, no affection, no attention when he was there, when he was trying to be that family man. You just kept selling him over and overreaction. And you did your role in driving this family away. And then I don't care what the situation is. And this is just me personally. From either the mother or the father side, you can hate your baby mom, baby dad, you can hate your co-parent all you want. But the last thing you would ever want or need to do, especially if custody is exchanged, is to talk bad about your co-parent in front of your children. Because that is the worst thing you could do to either their mother or their father, because it's going to have the result to picking sides and resenting the other parent. And that's what Lamont is ending up doing, because he's around the mom a lot of time. He's taking around her mannerisms, her behaviors, her opinions about the father. and all that. And before that, he loved his dad. He always wanted to go around with him, hang out with him, stuff, do sack races with him at the picnic. He loved his father. And then they split, and then his mom, Josephine, was filling his mind with all this garbage. And now he's kind sounding like the bitter female, just like the ex-wife was. Get the hell out of here.
Well, okay, wait. I gotta check something real quick. I gotta check something real quick. Wait a minute. I know.
I was about to ask something else too, but I'm like, okay, if this would have happened, that would have been unnecessary, considering the fact what happened. But at any rate, yeah, little man need to just get over it.
Damn, she was. Damn, she 57. She's still fine too. Damn. Oh, okay.
James, remember, Josephine turning Otis's little son into a little bitch.
Yeah, she is. Like a straight up heart with a ponytail attached to it. Yeah, you're right. Now
you wasn't there, leaving mama by herself. Nigga, your mama left him.
You know what? You know what this sounds like to me? Okay, so is this on some DMX son type shit with you?
No, he was worse.
He was worse. Okay.
He was worse. Like, dude, you said unrealistic expectations for your father. It's like, yo, he wants to be in your life. He loves you. He wants to be there. But you're trying to tell a struggling addict, I'll hang out with you, but you gotta be 100% completely clean. Dude, your father was an addict since he was a teenager. What do you mean you need fully clean? He tried. He's never gonna get that way. He's never gonna be that way. He just probably won't be that way around you. Maybe if you was in his life, maybe that would give him more incentive and motivation to be around for you. You ever think about that? He would have stayed on that stuff more if he was around you. Like, hey, I would go snort this blow right now. I might go snort this white girl. Not Angela, this coke white girl. But I'm supposed to be hanging out with my son and go fishing. So I can't do it. You ever think about that? What better way to help curb any drug habit than being around your children?
This is true.
But no, you want to listen to Ayanna Van Zant and then get in this female feelings. And then have her,
I can't fucking
and then
stand
have her, and then have her take his side and then yell at DMX like, you will not speak to him that way.
Yo man, I sometimes wish I want somebody to headbutt the shit out of her. She acts so high and mighty. They're like, oh my beloved, oh man, fuck. Okay, anyway, all right, okay, got it. Josephine turned Lamar to a straight up bitch.
So I was right, James. Just acknowledge that. Acknowledge me.
I acknowledge that. Okay, but so then we get to like I said, this is the hardest part of the movie for me. They go visit Paul, and Paul is desperately
right?
Otis and his son, right? Yeah. And Paul is desperately trying to prove to Otis that he's back whatsoever. It's clear he can't dance as well as he used to, which, Paul was the best dancer in the group. Again, I was like, this is not true. He was still touring with y'all, but okay. All right, fine. And I guess, man. And Eddie and Otis tells Paul like he's not ready to come back. So then you get to Happy Father's Day, everybody. Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Which, by the way, again, for those in the Discord, I put a whole list of Temptation songs in the music section. Bro, this is why they say music back then is timeless. Why? Because you can hear it in the music. They're using real instruments, real like you can hear the realness in the songs when you hear them play, bro. Like I'm sorry, Papa Was Rolling Stone is one of the greatest. That intro is one of the greatest intros to a song ever. But it's sad because while they're performing this song, it is one of the Temptations' best songs ever. We see Paul just spiraling downward, where he's drunk, kind of get the allude, kind of get the implication that he's abusing his wife, and he somehow made it to the building. I thought he was going to walk in and act a fool, but he didn't. Thank God.
You thought he was going to go postal?
That's what it made it seem like. That's what it made it look like. But he didn't. Then, even though it was in the alleyway, wasn't in no parking lot. There's even some rumor. But and there's also rumors that he was actually murdered instead of deletion, but there's over here or there. He dies in the parking lot. And that Paul Williams is the first Temptation to go. And how'd you feel about that whole situation, Paul's death, and how Paul's life ended up? Because to me personally, that's when Temptations slowly. To me, Paul was the heart of the group, and when he died, I think that's when Temptation as an entity started dying as well.
Yeah, when I very first seen this movie and then I seen that scene with Paul and just that, like you said, that drastic spiral, I was just thinking like, this is not good. Like, I already knew something about to happen that wasn't going to be good. And the way everything happened, I thought he was driving. I thought he was going to crash in a drunk driving accident. And then you see he had that tool on him. And he was outside the studio. They're like, oh, he bet not. And he didn't. And unfortunately, he took matters into his own hands. And then you just see it outside the car, that flash. It's just like, dang, he really gone. Like, you just can't help but feeling bad for dude because he was really, really sick. And now that I knew what I knew now, like I didn't know like he was going through sickle cell. On top of that, with his addiction with alcohol, like his rationale in my state is not there. He just wanted to stop feeling that pain because he knew what he was going through is not good. He can't sing no more. He definitely can't dance no more. He can't do what he was born and what he loved to do for his family and everything. He was just losing it all. And he was in constant pain. He just wanted that release. And unfortunately, he just took that option that you can't get a receipt for and take back. It was just very unfortunate for him. And definitely that shook up the group, especially with Eddie. Especially with Eddie.
That hit Eddie hard, man. Hit him hard. And so you got Paul's passing Then Melvin's knee issue is getting worse. On top of that, the man gets shot, for fuck's sakes.
Shot.
He was trying to highlight it. It looked like in his legs.
Yeah.
In his legs. And it was such a goddamn shit. He did try to holler at a chick too, though. I was like, damn.
You think that was a setup?
Nah, I don't think that was a setup. I just think he was just a man who just saw a fine ass black woman and he was just trying to holler, and then forgot that he still lives in Detroit, and and what happened. Exactly.
What if that was Zoe from 5150 finally getting that get back from Corey? When I hit my leg, I got your money.
Now, the dude that shot him said, like, hey, don't I know you, man? At first, I thought that was that nigga Flint, but it wasn't. So I'm like, I don't know if they tried to make seem like there was like a connection there. I just thought there was a dude that was trying to get a lick who just happened. He just got to jump off on a dude that just happens to be a member of one of the best groups in the world.
Now, wait a minute. Did he play that Do I Know You and then shot? Or was it after he shot? I don't remember.
It was after he shot him.
Oh.
It was after he shot him.
And didn't he take his car too?
Took his car, yep. Took his car. Then the group as a whole is going through a dry spell. You know, like every group goes through this when, you know, the records aren't hitting like that. And then plus, as you get older, as a group gets older, you know, like fans aren't really receptive to you as they used to. Radio is not big to play your records as they once were, especially if you're an older act. So they're dealing with that.
Record labels.
They switch record labels because this is around the late 70s. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that Temptation sound isn't really pop hitting like it used to. Then Otis finds out his mama is dying due to cancer. So the Temptation as a whole is going through a dry spell. They had to fire Shelley. So they go through a dry spell. Every artist goes through a dry spell. Then by 1982, they decide to have a reunion tour with all the original members, existing members of the Temptations, plus the newer members. Because the Temptations were still able to go on, but we had the reunion album, which has another one of my favorite Temptation songs, "Standing at the Top," produced by the late great Rick James, who is Melvin's nephew, by the way. And yeah, Rick James is Melvin's nephew. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. So, but have you ever heard the song "Standing at the Top"?
Yes.
Great song. Great song to come back to, for sure. So then they're on tour, and so much so that this is the first time David's been with the Temptations in pretty much a decade at that point, and it looked like David is serious. He's the first one at rehearsals, you know, like he said, I'm ready to work whatsoever. Like it looked like David's being like David's serious. Like he wants to he wants to make this work. So they're having the reunion, they're having the tour. It's a big success so far. But of course, more drama happens. Otis finds out that his son Lamont dies in a construction accident.
That part always confused me.
How?
When I was younger and I watched it, I'm thinking like construction accident. I'm thinking like, yo, was he already an adult?
I think he was an adult at this point, yeah.
I could tell if it was that or if like he was just like a teenager just playing around like a construction area and he like fell or something.
But I ain't gonna do it. When I was younger, I thought that too.
Like, wait, how did you get hurt in a construction accident and you a kid? Like, was you just meddling in somewhere? Because like, you know, when you were a kid, you frequent areas, you play in areas where you technically ain't supposed to be at, like construction sites, building areas, climbing up spots you ain't supposed to be climbing, different stuff like that. Like when you were a kid and you bored and you with your friends, you gonna get into some stuff. So I'm thinking like, oh, okay, maybe they was playing around the construction site, playing around like on the structures and everything. Maybe something gave way. He fell off like a ledge that was like real high up and he died. Like, I'm like, how did he fall? Or how did this happen? It was confusing. It didn't really go in detail how it happened or how old he was. So I was a little confused off of that.
But Lamont at this point was older and he was working as a construction worker, and then an accident happened and passed away tragically. And again, that's a father's worst nightmare, to bury their kid.
Yeah.
And all of this is going on. And then you still remember that David motherfucking Ruffin is back in the group. And you have to deal with the good and the very, very bad. So much so, David elevated from cocaine to crack. And, yeah, man, first he's missing shows again. So much so, this man David was so desperate. He was gonna give them tickets to the show that always he said like these past what the crack like what the drug dealers say, like he said these tickets are for Saturday, but today's Sunday.
I guess I won't be there then. It was like that. It was like that good second half where he sounded concerned, like, damn, I'm still on the show. I guess I won't be there then.
And it was willing to sell his car, and it's like, damn, man.
You
and
down bad.
Like
you
things
gonna
were
sell your new Lincoln? You down that bad? You gonna trade your car for crack? That's so... Like, if I was a dope dealer, bro, I'm like, bro, even I wouldn't even take that. Like you had to feel bad at that point. You wouldn't trade your own car, very nice car, for some crack.
And didn't Shelley say that this man David left with a briefcase, like a briefcase full of money?
Oh my God! You heard what he told him? Like, that's all I got. To get some more. I know you can get more.
Man, every time I see motherfuckers on crack, man, that shit still it breaks my heart, man. Every time I see that, man. This is another example how like even on that Standing on the Top video and on the song, you still heard it. Like David, he still had that talent, man. It's just fuck, man. His ego got in the way, man. So then, of course, the tour obviously is cut short. Then you get a nice moment here with by the way, how did you feel about the whole Two Temptation thing. I thought that shit was confusing. I was like, why? Why?
The Two Temptations?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know why did it have to be Two Temptations?
Wait. My memory's getting foggy. My memory's getting foggy with that. Like, Two Temptations. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like you said, there was two groups of Temptations. There was Eddie, David, and Dennis's Temptations, and then you had Otis and Melvin and all the young guys' Temptations.
Oh yeah, that part. Okay, I remember that now. I think that was stupid. Like,
that was so stupid.
You wanted to include everybody. Not all of them are OG Temptations. You want the old Temptations, new Temptations. You want this version. You want that version. What do you want to do? A versus battle?
That's what it felt like, a versus.
No.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm pretty sure if I'm Barry Gordy and Shelley, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Let's just get back together to a reunion. Like, what the fuck are we doing this dumb shit for? It looked like a fucking Crips and Blood version of Temptations, bro. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And you know what was fucked up? Out of the two versions of Temptations, I'd rather watch the Eddie and David and Dennis's Temptations. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I would. So then we get a nice little moment where they get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A nice little funny moment when Otis and Melvin, about how Melvin lying about his age, getting these young girls and all that stuff. And then you have Otis, Melvin, David, Eddie, Dennis. They decide to put all their I don't know why they made sure there was existing beef between the two. Like, I don't know if it was something I missed, but when Shelley told Otis and Melvin, David, do this. Hey, like, basically there was like some beef that was going on there, and I'm like, did I miss something, or like I don't know some.
Well, remember when they were saying it was like earlier in the part 2 where they said David, when Dennis said he was leaving, when Dennis left, and then him and Eddie and Dave were starting their own group, their own Temptations group.
Yeah, that's right. That
was when more of that resentment built up.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Okay. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, because it may seem like there was beef before that night. But it looks like that they squashed it, and according to Otis, that they all became friends again. Here comes some more fabrication. We see a dead body thrown out of a limousine, which happens to be David Ruffin, who died of a drug overdose. Which tragic, man. Very fucking tragic. Then we learn that Eddie Kendricks died of lung cancer. Which, by the way, if I had to say which member of the group had the best success going solo, it was Eddie Kendricks. It was Eddie. My father, who was a big Temptation fan, told me that Eddie Kendricks had some of the greatest love songs he's ever heard when he went solo. And I actually look back and listen to some of Eddie Kendricks songs. So Eddie Kendricks was the fucking man, bro. Like, listen to Intimate Friends. Remember the song Unbreakable by Alicia Keys?
Yes, great song.
She sampled, that was a sample of Intimate Friends by Eddie Kendricks. Eddie Kendricks. Yeah, but definitely not Eddie Kingston. And of course, you got the song "Keep On Truckin'." You know, like Eddie had the best catalog, breaking from the group for sure. And died by lung cancer, man. He smoked too many of them cigarettes, bro. Like, damn, man.
What was Tyrone when you need him? I'm Tyrone. Fuck the smoke shit.
Yeah, man. Just oh man. And then we get to 1995 when Otis and Melvin are the only two OG members from the group that's still around. And they go back to Jennifer Lewis to how they had to add makeup to her face, which I think is good because she ages so well. Like, no, we gotta make her look older. That's how good she looks for her age. And they're talking and they're reminiscing about their careers, the success that they've had, how they have no regrets. But Quez, don't you miss those days, Quez, when you had Big Mama and you had those old? Remember how like my grandmama would always make food for everybody in the neighborhood?
Oh yeah.
Like every time somebody would come over, she felt like she would have to cook like a whole table of food for them, bro. Like, I miss those days, man.
Bro, that was definitely a time, man. That was definitely a time.
Indeed. Like, it was just three of them, and she had a whole table full of food, bro. She said she was listening to their music. She just couldn't stop cooking. And I'm just like,
that's the legit thing. Like once moms or big moms, they was in the mode, they throw that music on, they could cook a whole 5-course meal, they could clean a whole house, just listen to music, and they just gone.
They in a zone, man. And yeah, we ain't never gonna see those days again. Like, it was just the three of them, and then she was just cooking like a whole table full of food, and she still had food cooking while they were talking. It's like, god damn.
Yeah, the short ribs and
had the goddamn short ribs, man. And Melvin, who's confined to the wheelchair, by the way. Hey, I mean, look, Melvin knew this was coming, so I guess he just accepted it, you know.
Him getting shot didn't help.
Yeah, that didn't help either. And they made it seem like that he died outside of the kitchen, but in reality, he died from heart failure after at a hospital because he had a lot of seizures, and he died from heart failure. And like you said, Quez, his death was still fresh by the time they decided to do this series. Which I'm like, well, damn, like y'all could have waited at least a couple years. But
bro, that was the saddest death in the whole film.
It was. You didn't see it coming.
It was just like, no, don't worry, Mom, I got it. Like, she was gonna get the ribs because she was moving and grooving and she was tired, but she wanted to go get him. She's like, no, I got it. And she was trying to look out for him because he was in a wheelchair. She's like, I can roll around, I'm fine. And then he made it to the kitchen, and then she was talking to Otis, just basically thanking him because from the beginning of the movie, she told him, like, I love joining your group, but you always gotta watch his back. You have to look out for him.
Which he did.
And he kept that promise. She was just very, very appreciative towards him for that. And then they called for him. He ain't respond back. And they never outright said he died. It was just like when they went to the kitchen, you just heard, oh, Melvin. Like, it was like soft, and it was just like fade to silence. Like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, and you as a mother, like Otis went through it when he lost his son. For her to go through it at the age they projected her to be at, and then you lose your son, Like as a parent, you never want to outlive your children. You don't.
No, man.
And that was just a rough loss. And he just tried to live the life his life the best way he could. Just try to live right, do his job, make money, and have fun. Just try to be chill, mild mannered man of the group. And then, unfortunately, the way he went out, man, it was just very sad, and it hit hard for me when I first seen the movie. And it low-key still does. Anytime I go back and rewatch it, I know it's coming, but then it's still like,
especially with Melvin, because throughout this whole film, Melvin was really the least problematic member of the group.
Yes, Otis. Whatever you say, Otis.
Oh well, yeah, you got that. But outside of that, like he never really caused no problem. The only thing that he had was he was just lying to the group about his health. That's really it.
Because he knew if he would have ended up saying something about that, potentially he could have been removed from the group.
Exactly.
And not like in a disciplinary way, just like forced to be out because of your own health.
Right. And of course, and that's gotta be wild. Like out of the classic five, the original five, Otis is the only one to still tell the tale. But that's wild, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's wild. And like you said, like no one's come to see you, Otis, and yet Otis is the last one still standing, bro. So you get a beautiful song by the real Smokey Robinson. I'm gonna miss you,
Smokey Robinson.
Yeah, yes, the real Smokey Robinson. And then the movie ends the way how it began, with replaying in the mind of Otis went to go meet Al, and and we get to see the Temptations in their prime to perform "My Girl" one last time, and the movie ends with them taking a bow and Otis saying "Temptations forever." And I have to say, beautiful way to end the movie. You go back to them in their primes, in their youth, early mid-20s. Paul was healthy, everybody healthy. David in his prime, looking all clean and slick, bro. That was. But you see, here's another thing too. It's so fucked up because this fight. When I look at Temptations, I'm like, it's probably like the main reason why we don't see. Cause I always ask. And actually, I was like talking to my mother about this. Why don't we have groups no more? And I look at Temptations like I see why. Because one, whenever there is a group, there's always that one person that becomes big-headed, or two, there's always an internal struggle with the group. Mindless behavior. Then you got the money issue. Like, like you're making this big sum of money, but if I'm an artist, hey, I'd rather look. If I'm making $500,000 for a show, making $500,000 for myself, and sounds better than splitting that $500,000 5 ways. I'm just saying. But yeah, I wanted to ask you that because like, why is it because we don't have like groups no more? When in the 80s and 90s, we had them. Even in the early 2000s, we still had them. B2K, NSYNC, and all of them. Nowadays, especially within these last 10, 20 years, they become non-extinct. And whenever we do have a group, they don't last long.
It's really because people don't know how to work together. The closest thing you see to like a group or like a rap group is that they're already created through label through label partnerships already, or if y'all just happen to already be connected through coming up and then linking up. That's like the closest thing you can get to like groups these days. You're not gonna get that. Everybody's out for themselves. Everybody doesn't want to split the pot. Everybody wants to have their own opinion in their own directions and stuff. I think around this time, this is not the time in music right now where you can really make it huge, like off of like groups or whatever. Like think about even like with the 2010s and legit, how long did these groups last? You talk about groups like Fifth Harmony, One Direction. They had their runs, but it wasn't like a long run like that. They've all eventually broke up after like a few years, and a lot of them had solo careers. And they found themselves successful solo and more stuff they could do for their own. So why would they have to go back to a group and then compromise in front of like the rest of their group members and label obligations when they can just do their own thing? Right now, groups, it's never going to be like on the realm of like a Jackson 5 or a B2K or a New Edition or the Temptations, none of that stuff. I feel like that time's passed. It'll circle back around one day, but as far as like obviously with the style of music, you're not going to get that. And not even in the sense of like, not even like in the sense of keeping the same energy with everybody, ideally making the same music they all want to make. It's just more so everybody wants to make different sounds. And if you can't work with everybody doing their own thing in a group, nobody's going to want to do it.
W.Y. Diggy makes a great point. He says ego and the industry set so that there could only be one, like the Lox, De La Soul, R.I.P. Dave, are the only two hip-hop groups I could think of that have had no public issues.
And those are two great examples with that, like I said, with De La and the Lox. Those are two great examples of like those guys that were already cool previously to like coming up in the industry and making it as a group on their own. And then they were able to go have their solo ventures, but they also was making sure like they were bonding and together and kept that friendship or that family bond they had with one another, that brotherly bond with one another. And again, it goes back to that same timing thing, like back in, that was the 90s, late 80s into the 90s with De La, and then the mid to late 90s, 2000s with the Lox. Like those two are great examples. Two groups, no internal issues with amongst the groups, and they made it successful. And I'm really trying to think right now, like, who else even from that era that you could say could translate to even after that to the 2000s, even 2010, that can still get back together and still be cohesive and function as a unit. A lot of these collectives and groups broke up.
Not. I mean,
mind you, none of these were forced label groups. None of these were forced label groups either.
Do you think Destiny Child could?
No.
No?
Nope. Personally, no. Like, I know they all still good with each other and they still mesh with each other. Like they mess with each other. Hell, Beyonce and Kelly are best friends, and they're all
like,
cool.
I haven't heard any. I've never heard any issues with the group members.
Oh no, because Beyonce have you booted out if you had an issue with her. Shout out to Latoya Luckett.
Oh, stop it! But no,
you would not disrespect Latoya because they forced her out on some bum stuff. They forced Latoya Luckett, mind you, she's not a Latoya Jackson, bro. Latoya was essentially in early days of Destiny's Child. And I learned this like a few years ago, and I didn't even notice. They try to force her out and then not let her make money off of the group anymore, but they could not do that because they tried to in court, but then Latoya found a loophole, snagged that, and flipped it on them to like, all right, bet. I'll leave the group, but anytime they perform, use the word Destiny's Child or release music, she gets a check cut.
Oh, shit.
All because they try to do her dirty. Every time Destiny's Child gets paid, Latoya gets paid.
Okay, what about Okay, I don't think NSYNC could get back together and mesh really well.
Not B2K. We seen already what happened with that.
They tried with that.
Fizz messed up the bag for everybody.
I mean, Escape seems to be no. I can't say Escape. Yeah, they constantly beefing.
Ain't nobody coming to see Tiny anyway. They going to see Candy.
Yeah.
See, you can't really think of any right now.
No, can't. Really can't. But
that's why Diggy put those were probably the greatest examples. The Ox and De La Soul. Like, you can't even put other groups down there at that time because they even had their beefs. Like, I wish I could say Tribe. You can't say Tribe because at one point, Fife and Q and them had a fall off.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you really can't say NWA falling out. Like I said, Tribe falling out. Good music group falling out. Black Hippie never materialized with anything, and Kendrick up the label, so it's nothing there either.
Maybe SWV. But didn't they have a falling out at one point?
And even he said that's a reach.
Oh, so there you go. Yeah, exactly. Like,
he said even that's a reach. I feel like they can coexist when they can, but it's also to the point where even like some of the group members, like, they don't even feel comfortable doing the same music like they used to anymore. Like, I can't remember which one of them said this. I seen this in an interview recently. Like, they hate singing weak. So, yeah, you think about it. There's not a lot of groups.
Wait. What's wrong with weak? Rain, I can understand, but weak. Rain, I've always had some. That's the thing is what I think that song is about, but
it feels like one of those examples where it's like they don't feel comfortable singing because it's probably going to be detrimental to their religion. It was like, it's similar to the point where when Salt and Pepper were still
Salt and Pepper, yeah.
When Salt and Pepper were trying to do that thing again, where they were trying to like do their tours and stuff, trying to bring that back. Salt would not do push it because that song was too provocative, and when it gets to religion, push it, what a man, shoot. I'm just, oh my God, listen, man, look, if I was a group member and that motherfucker would be like, listen, look, I'm one with God now. I'm just like, man, that would annoy the shit out of me. Like, I would get it, I completely understand it, because you know good damn well what the fans want to see. I mean, look at the clips. Malice left when he found God. Like, when he refound God, and he told Pusha T, I'm not doing this type of music anymore. I don't feel comfortable. I'm leaving this group.
I'm like, all right, fine, more power to you.
And that's a shame too, because I always thought, Malice was better lyrically, but that's a whole nother thing. Like, Pusha, don't get me wrong, Pusha go hard, but personally, I was a No Malice guy. His lyrics held more weight to me, and they were strong. Like, for those of you that never listened to I'm Not You, go listen to the clips I'm Not You and go listen to that last verse. That's Malice verse. Go listen to that. Tell me you don't feel no weight. You don't feel that emotion right there in this verse, that resentment, that guilt. I keep saying No Malice because he's No Malice now, but back then he was Malice. Malice had that. Malice had them joints, man. He had them show-stealing verses like, oh, I'm Not You. And again, that's another example of a group that doesn't even exist, that doesn't even perform like that no more. They reunite and do a performance, but they're still not doing the project no more.
Nope.
So at the end of the day, the Temptations were an example of a moment in time in music where it set the table for people that look like us to get an opportunity to be in the music industry and be that representative to make sure that we had our voices and presence heard. And they were so doggone good at it. You have to respect it. You have to respect that.
They were, bro. Like I said, you could watch some Temptations performers back in the '60s, and they're still dope to watch. You know, let's get into some awards. Quez, who to you is the MVP of the Temptations? Which, by the way, 45 million people tuned in to watch this miniseries on November 1st, November 2nd, 1998. Who's your MVP?
David Ruffin.
Leon, okay. Solid choice. Yes. Okay, all right. For my MVP, yeah, I gotta go with Leon. Leon myself as David Ruffin. He's definitely was a show stealer. Definitely was Michael Jordan in the 1991 finals. Who could you say? Who could you say was the overacting award? Who was the biggest overactor in the movie?
Not overreactor, but overactor.
Yes.
Can't you say Josephine?
No, because she had no emotion, damn near.
I know.
Oh, by the way, what was funny too? Apparently, this is gonna make you mad, but so apparently, Otis Williams, Josephine, Melvin's mama, and
they sued, didn't they?
Yes, they did for using their likeness. They sued Otis. Josephine sued Otis.
James, I was right all along. I was right all along. This confirms it.
She hates that motherfucker, man.
You ain't had to let him get in your guts. You know that, right?
Well, yeah, but he was a young, good-looking dude who had potential. Like she didn't have to let Miles get in them guts either. But look what happened in that situation. But by the way,
why would Melvin's mom want to sue? Like, you upset at the fact that Jennifer Lewis played you? Yeah, Jennifer Lewis played me as the mother in the movie. I'm suing Otis. How dare he?
If I was a mom, I'd be proud. But all right, and of course, my favorite part of these reviews. How will we cast the Temptations? So Quez, it's perfect because there's 5 members in the group. So Quez, out of all of us here in the panel, who would you cast to be the Temptations, or who would you feel would be what Temptation you feel they would be?
Okay. Let's see. I would say Mark would be Paul. MG would be David.
Damn. Marcus Paul. Damn.
Arlo's Paul. MG's David.
Wait, Arlo's Paul or Mark's Paul?
No, Marcus Paul.
Okay.
Marcus Paul. Marcus Paul. MG is David. I'm trying to see. I would be
Quez. You would have to be Eddie. You know, tag team partner.
Yeah, but my voice ain't like Eddie's. Ooh, and I just thought about something too. You know what? I would have to be Blue by default because of voice. I would have
fair.
to be.
That's fair. That's fair.
James, you would be Otis, and Arlo would be Eddie. So Arlo's Eddie, Mark is Paul, MG is David, you're Otis, I'm Blue, and there you go.
You know what, Quez?
And Josh is Al.
So Mark would hit Josh with a bottle.
And then you know what? And you know what? Bump it. We'll round it off. Danny's Barry Gordy. We'll
I would say Dennis. I would say Dennis.
Danny has more charisma than that.
God damn it!
I'm not wrong though. But
bro,
just saying like off the first five. What do you think? Again, you're Otis. I'm Blue. MG's David. Marcus Paul and Arlo is Eddie.
Okay, I could definitely see. I could see MG as David, of course. I could see me as Otis. I could definitely see me as Otis. Yeah, just be one to beat the shit out of MG. Yeah. Arlo as Eddie. Okay. Yep. I could see that as well. I could see that as well. You know, like especially that scene where it's like we have to come up with a new name and Eddie got that slick. Oh, thank God. Yeah, I can see Arlo doing that. Arlo would be doing some slick shit like that. You as blue, Quez. I could see that. Yeah, I can see you, Quez, being the type that wouldn't tell us that you're hurting whatsoever, or just to keep it going. Mark as Paul. Yeah, as the choreographer. Okay. Yeah, as the dancer. Okay, I can see that. I can't see a situation where Josh and Mark would get into an argument where Josh wants to keep on performing and Mark like, nah, I don't want to do it. And then they get to a bar. So this idea of Mark hitting Josh with a bottle is fucking hilarious to me. And then Josh is the one that gets fired. Oh, by the way, too, that murder scene when they performed My Girl, and then Al was looking salty, and Isabel Calloway was looking salty.
And of course, I was back at that bar drinking.
And then Vesmos was back, with the fucking person with the toilet right above. Like, damn, man, like, you're too fine to be living in these conditions, but that's so damn.
Man, hey, green is an ugly color and look on anyone.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That is definitely true, and I could see MG getting a little bit, big headed, wants money and fame, and he started believing his own bullshit. Because I'm not even gonna. Actually, I think the way how you got it makes sense. Like, there's really no changes I would make to that. No, really no changes I would make to that at all. Yeah, that was really solid. That was really solid. Cause I think that's perfect. That's perfect casting.
Thank you. Now let me ask you this: highlight of the movie.
Ooh, the highlight. Oh man, there's so many. There's so many highlights. Are we talking about like from an acting standpoint or performance standpoint?
Performance.
Oh man. I really enjoyed the I would say the most underrated performance is the Beauty's Only Skin Deep performance. That was really underrated when obviously MG would sing to a bigger white woman. That's funny. But I would say the highlight for me is that first performance with David and the Temptations when they were singing Shout. That's my favorite performance throughout the whole movie.
That was a dope performance.
Yeah, and then just how perfect David just fit in with the group. It was just like out of all the situations, I would just love to go back in time and see that very first time David and Temptations performed together. That was a crazy ass moment. What about for you?
I was thinking about that moment too, but I would count this as a performance, even though it wasn't an all the way performance, but still a kind of a performance nonetheless. When they shot and performed that My Girl music video.
Yeah.
That was
iconic.
That was iconic, and personally, that's my favorite Temptation song. I just love that song. And from sonically, vocals, production-wise, I just love it. And the way they did it in the movie, they did that song justice. And it represented that moment to where they went from getting recognized with the way you do the things you do, and I was charting and touring, and then after My Girl, just seeing that and how they now took off, it was just that moment to where Temptations, they were them boys after that. And as they should have been, because the way that performance was, the way David Ruffin set the stage as the leader, as the vocalist, and their whole choreography was slick and it was smooth. The steps was on point. They were all didn't miss a beat. And they only had to catch up for another one. He had to look back to see if they was all on stride. Everybody was just killing. And the background vocals from Eddie with the background vocals and Blue, like, man, they were perfect. my girl, and then you hear David talking about my girl, and then the charisma he had just with the hand gestures and the facial expression, the presence that he had. That's what like literally locked that group in, and that was my highlight, my standout for it. But that shot performance was definitely second place, close second.
Yeah, man, and it's just and like I said, just shout out to the cast, that embodied these characters to a T, damn near. Yeah, a lot of people say this is one of the greatest, biopics ever, and watch this again. Yeah, it is. It's definitely up. It's definitely at that bar for sure.
Wait, James, quick question. Because we were thinking about groups with staying power.
Yeah.
Would you put Bone Thugs on that list?
They've definitely had issues. They have had issues, bro. So much so, I'm surprised they still. I'm a Bone Thugs Harmony guy, and man, the shit they've had to pull up with each. I mean, it's mostly because of Busy, but no, like I'm talking about like in terms of groups that have had no issues. Oh, they've had plenty of issues. I'm like I said, bro. Like they got to a point where there was 3 members of the group, but
ain't nobody coming to see you, Wishbone.
Oh, we ain't gonna do Wish like that, bro. I ain't gonna do Wish like that. And then you got, Lazy, who can say is probably like the oldest of the group, and then you got Crazy, who a lot of people say is the best member of the group from a lyrical standpoint. And then you got Busy, who's the harmony in Bone Thugs and Harmony. Light skinned singing / rapping nigga.
Okay, James, well, let me ask you this then. Who had the best verse on Notorious Thugs out of them?
I may have to give the edge to Lazy killed that shit too. I'm gonna have to go with it's up there with Crazy and Busy for me. Because the story is that when they recorded Notorious Thugs, Busy and Biggie were in the studio together, and they said originally Biggie was gonna rap his style, but then he saw Busy recording his verse, and then that made Biggie go like, oh wait a minute, wait a minute, let me go to the studio, and let me go to the apartment, let me record the verse. I'm gonna send it to you.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm sorry, I had to. But Biggie had to. He had to re-record his verse and try to challenge himself to rap their style after seeing Busy do his verse. But it's up there between Busy and Crazy for sure.
The reason why I asked this because I know while niggas still in the chat, I know he a diehard Bone Thugs fan, so I just wanted to see if he would agree.
Why you do Biggie like that? He's like, no, but that's how he talks, man. Like, look, we ain't gonna deny the fact that Biggie would talk like that, bro. I was like, is nobody else seeing this or hearing this? But,
I see what you did there, Quez. I did nothing. I was just getting information.
And also, and I agree, W.Y. Diggy, yeah, that's the crazy, like, Busy was right most of the time. That's the crazy part. Like he was right, too. But, he was right. He was right. He just wasn't really good at expressing it the best way. No, his idea was making things right, was murdering motherfuckers in the studio. Like really, they said like he said that was when Tamika Eazy-E's wife, was pretty much robbing Bone Thugs for their money. That was Busy's solution. Like, let's just go in there and kill everybody. And the rest of them was like, no, we ain't doing that. He said, "Nah, man, we can't be talking about Mo Murder. We ain't gonna kill them motherfuckers." Like crazy. Like, no, we ain't doing that, little nigga. Yeah, Busy was wild, bro. He was wild.
I still remember that verse battle when he wanted to fight all the 3-6, one on everybody.
He said, all you ugly motherfuckers ain't gonna be mocking me while I'm on this motherfucking stage. And then was it Juicy J said, suck my dick? And and then he said, man, suck my dick, and then went to go perform the song. I'm like, nah, we can't tell no man suck your dick and then just act like nothing gonna happen. Like
yeah, but you see Juicy, he stood 10 toes down. He wasn't afraid.
But I just knew. When they did that versus, I just knew. This is how Busy was hyping the shit up. I just knew some bullshit was going to go down. Because 3-6 and Bone Thugs were beefing at one point. They were beefing with a lot of groups at the time. I just knew it. So when I saw that, I'll never forget when I woke up to get ready for work and I saw that a fight happened on stage and also was Busy Bone. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I knew it.
When Gangsta Boo and Paul was dancing while they was performing, I was like, oh, this is not gonna go well.
Yeah, because Busy thought they were mocking him.
And if they were?
Busy was gonna handle it, and he was about to handle it until he got held back.
Man,
Busy was gonna handle that, bro.
Man, Crunchy Black was gonna beat his ass, bro. You cannot have a name like Crunchy Black and not have the ability to fuck somebody up.
By the way, that's a biopic I would be interested. If they made a Bone Thugs Harmony biopic, I'll be all for that.
Dude,
they got a wild ass story them damn selves.
You think everybody would be involved in that?
I think so.
I mean, all on the same page.
Yeah. That may take a while, but
I don't know, man. Busy might hold it up. Flesh might have problems with it. Flesh might have problems with it where he could hold it up.
Oh yeah, with his story, yeah.
So you never know. You never know. Well, they say both them groups was wild as hell. Yeah,
they were.
But their music, even though I have 3-6 slightly above Bone Thugs, yeah, they were great for their time. Very great for their time. But yeah, overall, not a lot of groups can do like how Temptations did.
And I'll say this too, and they laid the foundation. Like, they laid the foundation for like the Jackson 5. You know what I'm saying? Like Michael Jackson said that they used to look at Temptations as a big inspiration, you know, and yeah, Temptations, great film. Out of 10, what would you rate this, Quez?
I will give it a 9.
9? Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And as for next week, in honor of the recent passing of the late, great Miss Tina Turner, me and Quez, yes, still crazy. Me and Quez, to end off our June Black music reviews, we will end it off with the 1993 classic film What's Love Got to Do with It, starring the iconic Angela Bassett and the iconic Lawrence Fishburne as Ike and Tina Turner. Definitely looking forward to that. And any final thoughts for the Temptations movie or as a group? And W.I. Diggy said Temptations are the foundation of the R&B group. To be real, absolutely, they are the foundation for sure.
Hard to argue against that, and to support the biopic for Bone Thugs. What he said, they actually talked about doing it, and they all seem to be on the same page with it for now. But sounds good. But overall thoughts on everything said, I've already said. Like, great film, great story, great music, timeless music. Glad that we were able to do it. And next week, catch us for What's Love Got to Do with It? A great story. Yeah, don't watch the BET Awards next week. Watch our programming. Consider it on the Primetime Movie Network. I bet y'all forgot the BET Awards was next week, huh? Yeah, it is next week. But don't worry about it. We're going to be doing this program. Going to cap off Black Music Month in style. Which, by the way,
you know, it's so funny.
Which, by the way, is there even a host for the BET Awards? Because they still didn't announce it.
They haven't even announced the host or who's performing yet.
Performer?
I have not heard no performances. Who's hosting? But BET, it's gotten so bad now. Nobody wants to host the motherfucker no more. But who was the host last year, 10 years ago? Was it Chris Tucker?
2013.
2013?
I thought Chris Tucker was 2012, or maybe it was 2013. One of those 2 years he was, but I can't remember who was going to be the host of this year. I don't even know if they announced it yet.
Honestly, the last good host I could say that the BET Awards. Well, I mean, Anthony Anderson and Tracee Ellis Ross were pretty good. I thought Kevin Hart was great as a host for BET Awards in 2011. He's perfect for that role as the host.
Kevin Hart is not funny to me, so you could pass. You keep that shit.
Not even early Kevin Hart before the fame?
No. Like,
damn.
No. Like, he had a couple cool specials in Paper Soldiers. That's all I'm giving him. Oh, James. they did release some names. Bro, the 69 Boys are performing.
Oh, okay, whatever.
What? That?
Look, Quez, I'm at that point in my life, bro, where I've gotten to where I'm so out of the loop, like I don't even know who half these niggas are.
You don't remember the 69 Boys?
All these niggas' music sound the same to me now.
Bro, they do.
What do they do? What song they do?
You don't remember the 69 Boys? I'm so hurt.
What song?
The Tootsie Roll.
Oh, them! Oh shit! No, I didn't. I didn't know that was them. I didn't know that was them. Okay, all right, okay, all right. The Tootsie Roll. Okay, all right. I can get down for that. I can get down for that.
Wait, why they said Ja Rule? No, I'm not watching. Fuck that. I'm not watching.
Ja Rule.
I'm not watching it.
I'm sick. I'm sick. They're going back to the OGs.
I think it must be part of the Hip Hop 50.
I'm sick. They had to call my nigga Jeffrey. Damn. Okay.
Yin Yang Twins.
Okay, I may check. Okay, Yin Yang Twins. Okay, all right.
The Sugar Hill Gang.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it's definitely for the 50th anniversary. I mean, yeah, I'll definitely check that part of the show out.
Warren G, Fat Joe. Bruh, they getting DJ Unk to perform.
Okay, I'll check that part of the show out. I'll check that part of the show out for sure.
But I still don't see nothing about the host.
It ain't gonna be no host, bro. It's just gonna be just presenters.
Wait a minute, Bow Wow. Bow Wow's hosting?
Man, go ahead, stop playing with me.
Bow Wow's taking the social media to reveal he'll be the host.
Wait. Who? Bow Wow? Bow Wow hosting the BET Awards?
Oh my God.
Listen, look, I know this dude ain't got shit to do with BET Awards, but I feel I gotta blame this dude I gotta blame him just because.
Why, Triple H? You son of a bitch! Why? Tell me why.
Yeah, Triple H didn't sign him, so now he ain't got no choice but to host the awards. Wait a minute, it's the pre-show, I think. Nope, it's the pre-show.
He's hosting the pre-show.
He's hosting the pre-show.
He ain't even good enough to host the actual show. No, he's not even good enough to host the show. After all Bow Wow was done for BET, it's now you doing the pre-show, nigga. Oh my God, bro. Oh, yo, man, the BET Awards, man. That shit used to mean something, man. Now it's oh my God, man. But instead of watching that bullshit, you can watch me and Quez discuss what's love got to do with it. But in the meantime, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed us discussing this classic, The Temptations. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, don't forget to share the video as well. Everyone have yourselves a great Monday, great start to the week. And we'll see y'all next week. And we are out. Me and Quez appreciate the love and support. Be safe. Wait, hang on. Hang on.
Yes, just not play games, bro.
Oh yeah, you mentioned Bow Wow, bro.
Damn.
Well, you brought Shad in here, bro. Now streamer, I was like, all right, that's enough.
Like StreamYard froze and it just kicked me out. Like, now you want to do this?
I'm sick. This nigga was gonna be in a feud with Jay Cargill, and now he can't even get on the actual show. He has to host the pre-show.
Damn, man. But so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they are going to have a host.
I don't think they will, because they would have been announced it by now. I don't think they can find nobody.
They couldn't just get Taraji P. Henson again?
I think even Taraji P. Henson's above that shit now.
What do you mean above that? She ain't got no TV show right now.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Empire ended a long time ago.
Oh my god! So you tell me it's just you mean the closest thing we're gonna get to a host is MC Light just introducing folk?
Pretty much.
Shout out to MC Light, by the way. Keep getting them checks. She's the only thing that's still consistent about the BET Awards every year.
Only thing. Oh, and also, Quez, how do you feel about now Tyler Perry now owns BET?
The Medea Network.
The Medea Network. There you go.
I mean that's pretty much BET Plus is.
That's all BET is, period. Like, bro, like it's not even. I don't even recognize BET no more.
There's no original programming on there. It's like everything is scripted content.
Yeah.
And most of the scripted content is syndication. You got your Martin reruns, of course. Sometimes you got Wayne's Brothers in syndication, I think. They still have that on there. Whatever Tyler Perry syndicated programs on there, like House of Pain and Meet the Browns and whatever Tyler Perry stuff is on there. And more Martin reruns. And then those movies. It's like you're not getting a lot of new stuff during the week. And everything you do get new during the week is all Tyler Perry programming. House of Pain coming back. Like, I actually got to watch that because it actually looks semi-interesting again because they brought some people back. So it's that. The other Tyler Perry show, they got the Oval, Sisters. The only thing that's new on those programs every day is Tyler Perry produced shows. All the shows that are new that's going on during the week are all Tyler Perry shows. Seriously, literally. They're all Tyler Perry shows that's new during the week. They even brought back College Hill. That's only on BET Plus.
You know what, man? I used to I took for granted all those BET nights when it would just be 106 in Park, and then every fucking night it felt like it would be Baby Boy. I took those. I took those days for granted.
I think a lot of us did.
I took those days for granted. I would gladly complain about BET playing Baby Boy all the fucking time, any day, all day over BET we got now.
Bro, it was Baby Boy. Next Friday, Soul Plane. One Tyler Perry movie. What was it? Diary of a Mad Black Woman. They would always play that. Shoot, Waiting to Exhale. They would play that every Sunday. It was like that same rerun of stuff, but then you would have 106 Parks, the Rap Cities, the Access Granites, the Rip the Runways, the Spring Break shows, Hell Date. Like, you had that run of shows. And it always provided some entertainment. Oh, what was that model show called that? Oh no, I said already, Rip the Runway. That was a good show. Like, and the OG College Hill, not that celebrity College Hill stuff. That stuff's trash. I don't need to see Ray J on my TV screen. Which I'm glad we don't. That's on BET Plus. Never mind.
I remember how they used to call them Blackbuster movies.
Blackbuster movies. The Blackbusters, and then it'd just be next Friday. Like, God dang.
And I think on Sunday mornings, of course,
Bobby Jones Gospel,
and they will play some musical or plays that we have no one's ever seen or heard before with Clifton Powell somehow in it,
or Ving Rhames,
or Vin Rhames.
The Baby Talberts or the or what was that? What was that? Low Down Dirty Shame.
Low Down Dirty Shame. And what was that one? It was a movie with a long ass time, like Women Who Art Thou Loosed or something like
Women
that.
Who Art Thou Loose, yeah.
Yeah, I believe Kimberly Elise was in one of those damn movies, bro. She was always in them shits, bro.
She played that role and played it well. Oh, and you can't forget that damn Bill Bellamy. Was it 2 play that game with him and Vivica?
2 could play that game, yes. No, it was Getting Played.
Getting played.
It was him, Vivica, still in her prime, and Carmen Electra.
Well, then who was the one with LL Cool J and Gabrielle Union?
Deliver Us from Eva.
My God. They played that to death too.
Well, I think you had Vivica, Essence Atkins, and the girl that played the psycho girlfriend on fucking House of Pain. That was with CJ, who was celibate but crazy.
Who was celibate but crazy?
Yeah. Was she like Malik's teacher or something like that?
Yeah, she was. Yep. Ava Marie Johnson. Ava Marie Johnson.
She was the sisters. She was her, Gabrielle Union, S.A. That was sisters of BET Uncut. Of course, BET Uncut. Like,
shoot, bro. You seen all the shows I wasn't even born for. The fuck is Caribbean Rhythm with Rachel?
I've heard of Caribbean Rhythm. Videos. Oh yeah. How old are you, WID? I've heard of Video Soul. I've never heard of Video Soul with Donnie Simpson and there was that one light skinned chick with Video Soul. That was low key fine too. Video Soul. That was the episode. That was the show when Bobby Brown professed his love to Janet on live television.
Well, can you just imagine if they burned back Teen Summit for this generation?
Oh shit!
You know how ignorant it would sound.
It would sound so goddamn ignorant, bro. But can you just imagine? Ice Spice on video Teen Summit, bro?
No. Some stuff we can just keep. And you know what the sad thing is? As much as like people say they want the stuff back, I don't want a lot of stuff back because that means, okay, great, music videos are back in the rotation, but a lot of stuff I won't even listen to. Like, think about if they bring back Rap City and they got Ice Spice in the booth, or Coy Ray in the booth, and they got to do a freestyle with Tigger. That would be garbage.
Didn't they try to bring back TRL with DC Young Fly?
With DC, one girl, Tamara, she used to work with Complex, and it was like another person that they was trying to bring that back with. It flopped. It did not last. It was a combination of like timing and the music videos. It wasn't as groundbreaking as it was, and the segments and it was the segments too. The segments were trash. Like, it wasn't working. It was like before 106 & Park was on its way out, like, they stopped doing the top 10 countdown and they just did a playlist. Like, there's we're hip or modern. We're going to stop with the countdown. We're going to do a playlist of the hottest songs. And it wasn't even 10. It was like 4 to 6 songs a day. Like, and it was only lasted for like an hour a day. So it was only a matter of time. That time and era since has come and passed, you know, and it's unfortunate because you had to be there. It was just an example. Like, you had to be there to live it.
Just had to be there. Yep.
With the 106 with AJ and Free, we was there. Watch they bring back Free. Free ain't coming back.
She ain't coming back, bro.
She ain't coming back, bro. And if she did come back to BET, it would not be at 106 & Park.
Yeah, 106. Listen, I'll never forget. But you remember on 106 & Park when Terrence and Roxy were leaving, and they had that? Okay, Quez, tell me, did you volunteer for that contest to be the next host of 106 & Park?
Would I volunteer to be the host for it?
No, but because remember after this was right around the time when Roxy and Terrence were leaving, and they had that contest where you had to submit videos to BET to be the new host of 106 & Park. Remember they did that?
Yeah.
Did you think about doing it?
No, because one, I was still in high school when it was happening. Like I was a senior in high school when I was going on. So no, I was definitely not thinking about it.
Did you say you had to be 18?
I think you had to be 21.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I think you got to be 21 to do that. And then I'll have to relocate to New York, which I'm not doing that. And 3, that contest was pointless because I remember back when Media Takeout was popular, I remember reading on Media Takeout, they spoiled that like 2 months in advance about who's already going to be hosting, which was Shorty the Prince, Pajian out of Detroit, because I remember like anytime I'd be on a trial here on the radio. So Pajian out of Detroit, Shorty the Prince, they were radio DJs. And it was just them 2 they announced. And they both already worked with BET previously in the past on a couple projects. And it just turns out, they entered the contest. But it's like, no, they already gonna win. And it turns out they did. They just added Miss Mikey for the 3rd host, and then Bow Wow to gaining reigns since he's Mr. 106 as a formality. So it was them 4, but they already had leaked the 2 winners who they were going to be. So I'm like, all these videos and all stuff is pointless. And I seen their names pop up on the screen on 106, like, oh, they already won. What's the point? And they announced they won. I was like, bro, Media Takeout Ben leaked this news months in advance. So yeah.
And only for it to be Bow Wow at the end.
Oh yeah, only for it to be Bow Wow at the end. Well, I will give BET credit for this. It was that one summer. It was in 2013. So it was already like going on a year after Terrence Roxy left. It was that summer where they had Bow Wow hosting with Angela Simmons.
Yep.
And they played their history of, and they past relationship and romantic tensions a little bit with that. And they actually made a good partner hosting. Like they actually had a good collab hosting the show for that summer. Like they did that thing with that. It was still good music on there, and they had good guests. So they was playing it off. It was all cool. But after that, that was when they brought in that one chick that used to mess with Drake. What was her name? Keisha Shante. I think it was like that. Keisha Shante, yeah, because I'm thinking of Tinashe, but it wasn't Tinashe. Keisha Shante. And she did not resonate with the people at all. She got cussed out by August Alsina after she brought up Trey songs. And then she did the ultimate sin, talk about Blue Ivy's hair. And it was over with.
Yeah, it was over. It was over.
It was like literally it was over. Like after that, they only had like a couple more shows, and then they went on hiatus. They went on hiatus. They stopped showing new episodes. It was all bad. Beyonce had them niggas shut down. And then the next thing you heard about 106 after that was the final episode.
The final episode, yep.
Damn. She killed it. Blue Ivy killed 106.
I mean, it needed to die anyway. I mean, like I said, well, with Bow Wow, I thought Bow Wow, I looked at it as a step backwards for Bow Wow. Now, Bow Wow was still like 17, 8, 16, 17. All right, cool. But nigga was like 25 at that point. It's like, nigga, come on now.
Then there was that rumor where he needed the money. Like, mind you, he was signed to Cash Money Records at that time.
Yeah, how well that turned out. Only song I remember Bow Wow doing for Cash Money was that shitty ass song called Sweat.
I mean, it did go number 1 on the countdown.
Sweat did?
Yes.
Get the fuck out. No, it did. Are you serious?
I swear to God, it went number 1 on that countdown.
Sweat went number 1.
Yes.
Oh my God. That's fucking funny.
It's even more funny when you hear Bow Wow announcing his own video at number 1.
I did not know Sweat was number. I'm so sick. Sweat was number 1 at one point. What the fuck?
You think Why Diggy would vote for that song on the countdown? Or you think Bow Wow was past his age?
I'm sure W.Y. Diggy has more standards than that. Than motherfucking Sweat. Okay.
I'm sure if Bow Wow did a song with Bone Thugs, he would vote for the damn song.
Okay, why gotta do W.Y. Diggy like that though, bro? Like, why gotta do him like that, bro?
I'm not.
No, that was an unnecessary shot, bro.
That wasn't even a shot. Just a joke.
Well, I'm sure. I don't know why Loki got me mad as fuck. Like Sweat was number. Oh my!
I never made you swear. Like,
wasn't Wayne on that song too?
I don't.
Of course he was. Wayne was on everything at that point.
See, James, I forgot. Bow Wow did a song with Crazy Bone. I forgot about that. He did.
And really quickly, how sad is it that Wayne, like his brain is so fucking fried? They say he don't even remember the lyrics of his old songs no more.
It's not even that because his brain's fried, because he did like 1,000,003 songs. And he doesn't write none of his songs. Like, he never wrote any of his songs past 2003. So he has to like go and Google stuff. Eminem does the same thing. They talked about it when Wayne had his podcast. They both had to Google lyrics to make sure they didn't use the same lyrics on one song, so they wouldn't use it on another song. So like him and M have so many songs, so much material, they both do that. I don't think it'll have anything to do with Wayne's brain being fried that he doesn't remember it. It's just he's done a lot of stuff over the years. He's done a lot of music, and it was all just like a blur. Now, I would credit Wayne's drug use to maybe why his hair looks like that and not taking care of it. I'll say that.
This nigga looks like a voodoo priest from New Orleans, bro.
Man,
listen, look up the doll. Look, for all my movie horror fans, look up the doll from Trilogy of Horror and look up Lil Wayne. Enough said, bro. The doll from Trilogy of Horror and Lil Wayne. Can't tell you can't see the difference.
Oh, that's just me.
He does. He looks like the dog from Trilogy of Horror, bro. I'm not. I respect Wayne too, but come on, man. That nigga Wayne looks dried the fuck up. He looks dehydrated, bro.
Oh no, bro. Just tell him to go to Skip Bayless' house to rehydrate. And then while he's there, I'm sure he'll host Undisputed.
And Wayne ain't, and what's crazy, Wayne ain't even 50 yet.
He's 40. Yeah.
That's crazy. He looks older, bruh.
That's why you need to take care of yourself. All that stuff in hard life will catch up to you like a ton of bricks.
And the fact that he just turned 40?
He just hit 40 like last year.
That is fucking crazy. But that's how long Wayne's been in the game. But he's just now 40 years old, bro. Fuck, man. Do you think Wayne could ever have a resurgence?
Like prime Wayne, no, his time has passed. But
think so?
Yeah, definitely his time has passed because he's not the number one most popular rapper anymore. Like I'm having kids today telling me like Lil Baby's the best rapper alive right now, and he way better than Lil Wayne. God. And that Lil Baby's better than Lil Wayne.
Oh my God, we're getting old.
I'm getting old. Everybody getting stupid.
But it literally feels like 10 years ago, everyone was saying that about Wayne.
But Wayne had talent. Lil Baby's just generic, in my opinion.
Well,
I didn't say Lean will do that. You're damn right. That's what Lean will do. It accelerates and moves everything slow for you. That's a darn shame. Wayne too old to be doing that. If you still doing Lean, you too old to be doing that, bro. Leave that stuff alone.
I think he stopped. I think ever since the seizures, he slowed down on that.
He did, but he picked it back up.
Look, Wayne. Look, Wayne's one of the greatest to ever do it, man. But damn, man. Look, damn, man. Put that cup down, bro. But anyway, look, we got way off topic on this. Back to Temptations. Great film, great movie. If you haven't checked it out, it's free on YouTube. If you have time to kill, it's a 2-part series. Definitely a must watch. Quez, have you, by any chance, seen the Broadway musical Ain't You Proud to Beg?
No, I have not.
Okay, because I know they made a musical about the Temptation story, and I'm assuming the musical came around your neck of the woods. So I was just curious. They said it was a really good show. Really good show. I don't say I was gonna top this, but I'm definitely interested in seeing that if it ever comes around my neck of the woods.
I don't know, because just imagine, like, remember how they did Set It Off and how they casted the people and Set It Off?
No, wait. Come on, you cannot compare. You cannot compare Set It Off to this. Come on, Quinn, stop it.
So, wait, who was it? Like, Jada Pinkett was played by Lil Mama, and the Brat was Queen Latifah. And what was it? Drew Tudor was Vivica Fox. Like that.
Man, God, man.
Okay, so Lil Yachty's gonna be Leon.
No, bro. No. It's gonna be unknown actors, bro. Stop it, bro.
It's gonna be Lil Yachty gonna be Leon. Otis is gonna be played by Malik from House of Pain. Paul's gonna be played by. Let's see. Paul's gonna be played by. What's that dude name? Shoot, the dude that did Roddy Ricch is gonna play Paul.
Oh my God.
And then for Eddie. No, I take it back. Pull that. Orlando Brown's gonna be Leon.
Man, you know what?
Orlando Brown's gonna be Leon.
Oh my God.
That should have been it. Leno Brown's gonna be Leon. Little Yachty can be Eddie. Paul can be. Oh yeah, Paul can be Chris Brown. You know, singing in the choreography. Paul can be Chris Brown.
Chris Brown.
Yeah. And then for Otis, check this out. Otis. Ooh. J. Cole. Bet. There you go.
Who do you think?
Orlando Brown telling J. Cole, ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. That would be hilarious.
Man, Quez, you wild for that, bro.
Book that play. Book it. Sign them all up. Thank me later. With a check.
You are wild. And you are wild, bro.
You telling me you would not want to see a scene with Orlando Brown and J. Cole?
I'll look for it on Twitter. But yeah, so that's going to conclude the Temptation movie review. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Hopefully you're enjoying the content on this Primetime Movie Network. Yeah, we'll see y'all next week for What's Love Got to Do with It? And oh, I forgot. Ooh, Angela Bassett, Versatile Calloway in the same movie, in the same scene at the same time. Woo! My God. But yeah, I forgot she's in this movie too. Damn.
Y'all hear that? It means that show's gonna be a late start.
No, ain't gonna be no late start. You're
gonna be dragging behind watching the movie and watching them damn BET Awards.
Nah, bro. Nah. Ain't gonna be no late start. But yeah, so everyone have yourselves a great night. And we'll see y'all later. Thank you for hanging out with us for Temptations. And we are out. Peace.
Ghost.